Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains,
we speak.
Do you remember where you were when we elected a Sasquatch president?
How about when you learned Ben Franklin was a robot?
Or first heard Stalin's mixtape?
I'm Zach Powers.
I'm Brian Flynn, and we host The Revisionists.
Each episode, one person explains real history and another tells an alternate version.
And the winner becomes the truth. We let comics from Denver and around the country run wild through history.
It's an in-depth look at history, but with more Babadooks.
Check out The Revisionists, available every other Saturday.
Wherever you get podcasts and at revisionistpodcast.com.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds Podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Brian. No, this is my announcer voice, and you're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Should I do this as my real self? Oh, shucky darn. Hi, this is Brian Cummings. You're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Okay, do it straight. Hi, this is Brian Cummings, and actually you are listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Send money and real estate.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Pop Culture Con 2020 and beyond. Every time I say 2020, I can't believe it.
It's a
Everything
weird,
goes by
wild
so
future.
fast.
I keep thinking of Dateline, so
That, and I haven't actually been on an actual episode in 3 weeks, and that's a long time for me. Because, I got stuck, and then we did Film Explosion.
Spider-Man. That was tough even for us.
Yeah, I just, that day was, did I tell you a story about the missing kid?
No?
So this mom went rafting with her family, and her two daughters were singing at like the rafting orientation thing, and the son got embarrassed. And so the mom said, well, if you don't want to do it with us and you're going to be that way, you can stay here and wait for us, and we're going to go rafting. So they went on a rafting tour, and they came back 2 hours later, and the son wasn't there. So he's 16. It's not like he's 4. And but he acted like a 4-year-old. And so she looked for him around town for like an hour. Then she came by the PD at 4:58. I get off at 5. And she said, I can't find my son. I said, okay. So I searched the city for about 2.5 hours. Couldn't find him. Set out what we call a red call, which calls or like a code red, something like that, where it basically calls every number listed in the county and lets them know, hey, be on the lookout for this kid. This is what he's wearing. Nothing. So I'm looking, can't find him anywhere. So then I put out one to every county in Colorado because his family's from Colorado Springs. And so about 10:30 at night, now I've been there since 7 in the morning, I said, this sucks. So I'm going to go back, and I just said, okay, I can't find him. I don't know if I'll ever find him. So I back to the PD, and the phone rings, and it says Jeffco Telecom 911. I went, what in the heck? So I answer it, and I say, Idaho Springs Police, and this person on the other line says, I'm a missing person? This kid got so mad at his mom. Did you know, you might not know this, there is a bike path from Idaho Springs all the way to the city of Golden. He walked from Idaho Springs to the city of Golden on this bike path, and when he got cold and tired, he went to Golden PD and used their call box and called Jeffco, and they said, hey, people are looking for you. So, yeah, that was the end of my 17 and a half hour day.
That's why you missed the episode.
Yep.
but you reunited a family.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters?
No. Here's the thing, is if something like is a real child, like a 7, 8-year-old, I'd feel pretty bad. But when you're a 16-year-old, you can kind of take care of yourself, and that you're going to throw a fit because your your sisters were singing. Come on, dude. And the mom said that he's like he's kind of stubborn and emotional, but he's a good kid. So that he's that age, I wouldn't think that he would just get in a car with somebody. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you'd hope not.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I totally get what you're saying.
So he had to sing too?
No, he didn't want to. His sisters were embarrassing him.
Okay.
So he just got mad and had a meltdown. And his mom says, "Well, if you're gonna not be cool, then you can just stay here." And that's what happened.
If you're not going to be cool.
Yeah. In so many words.
Yeah. Right on.
But yeah,
we don't
back.
We don't necessarily talk about.
Yeah. What's this podcast about?
Yeah.
It's about life, Brad.
The movie life.
The Real Life Podcast.
The Real
now.
Life Podcast. And then we got to talk like this and see how everything happens.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it now.
Yeah,
Guys,
so
this sounds really boring.
every week on Real Nerds Podcast, we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week, the new movie was The Lion King. We'll talk about The Lion King, and we'll say if you should see it or not, play the trailer, and spoil a movie. That's a shot-for-shot remake of the previous movie, and then we'll go from there. But let's talk about movie news. There's a lot of movie news this week as San Diego Comic-Con happened. There's also Catching the Classics with Corinne, so stay tuned for that. We'll talk about Blu-rays that are happening and movies we've been watching, and I have a lot of them. So let's start with the big news of the week, and because a lot of stuff trickled out from that mecca of pop culture goodness, San Diego, in real news.
It's real news.
You know, I was thinking every time San Diego Comic-Con pops around, Brad, I don't know if you think this too, how me and you just went and we've got our tickets the month before in 2008, and you know, now it's a process to get them, and
It's like a journey. Like it's
Yeah.
like collecting enough coins to get a key to go into the dungeon.
and I know there's several people that don't like what Comic-Con has become. However, I'll always have the argument that if you stay relevant, that it helps, and the comics have taken a backseat now, but you don't have that without the comics. And, the comics are still there, so people can still get comics and just accept. And I honestly think that's because I was reading Game Informer today, and they're talking about E3. I think if E3 embraced this instead of making it a consumer trade show, where they had the exclusives, where you can come here and try game demos,
Yeah, it's not really like.
make it fan.
I mean, there might be. I'm not aware of it, but there isn't really like a Comic-Con of video games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You
So-
can to celebrate it because it's a culture that obviously. I mean, we're at Denver Comic Con. We see how many hundreds of thousands of people go, and there's Pop Culture Con, and
I was gonna say, because these things are growing, you're reaching out to a larger
Yeah,
audience,
you
so
have to.
you're reaching into pop culture.
yeah, and you have to stay relevant. I mean, it's impossible. As much as I love comic books, you can't have a comic book show with just comic books and expect to have the turnout that they have.
Well, comic book conventions from the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, haven't they also kind of embraced all aspects of pop culture anyway to begin with?
I don't know, but the first one in San Diego, you can go see Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and stuff, and they started the panel stuff, and you just build from there, and I've never had a problem with it.
But if you're finding yourself missing the old comics only Comic-Con, there's a void. And that's something that maybe you should, put together yourself and bring back.
Yeah. I mean, I went to Comic-Con when it was kind of transitioning further into it. It was kind of the first one that I went to was very comics oriented, and then I skipped a year, and then the next year very movie. Movies started trickling in way more. By the time I went the last time I've gone, it was very movie centric, but there was plenty of comic stuff going around. So I haven't, like I said, I haven't been in close to 9 years. So
It's also easy for them to invade Comic-Con because Hollywood's in California, so
That and the fandom's already there.
yeah.
It's not because if you like comic books, chances are you're going to like movies. I don't know if a comic book fan who's fuck movies.
I don't know, just any person who's.
Yeah, it is weird when people don't like movies.
Do you know people who don't like movies? I don't.
No, but I think it'd be
I only
weird.
watch TV.
Yeah, I think it'd be weird, right?
Yeah.
If someone came in and said, "I don't like movies," fuck you and fuck
Yeah.
movies.
I only read and go to plays.
Yeah,
I never meet people who say I hate movies, but I meet people who go I like TV more, and I'm just okay, that's fair.
maybe like maybe I like the story structure of TV. That's fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
So Zach, why don't you take us to the danger zone?
Comic-Con hit big. I'm going to start off with Marvel because that panel.
I gave him a transition, and he goes totally opposite.
You're like that anime butterfly meme where you lofted the butterfly in there, and he just completely ignored it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we will get to trailers because that's also ensconced in trailer news, and that came before Comic-Con.
Nope.
Yes, it did. That trailer came out on Thursday.
Tom Cruise debuted it at Comic-Con at the Paramount.
Then how did we talk about it on Thursday when I saw that trailer?
I don't know, Zach. He was at Comic-Con.
He was on YouTube. Anyway.
Isn't Thursday preview night?
Yeah, it's preview night.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I mean, you can see the thing where Tom Cruise is on a Comic-Con panel.
Okay. We'll talk about Top Gun Maverick then. Top Gun Maverick came out with a trailer and a poster, and looks like fun. I don't know. They didn't really give any story away. It's mainly just aerial stunts and aviation. So.
The story is someone who's coping with the world changing, where they're going to unmanned pilots, drones and stuff, and how does someone survive in that world?
Right, no, but there's no plot specifics. Although I read in the synopsis later though, Miles Teller's playing the son of Goose, who was in the first film, one of so that's gonna play a part in it. But
his name's Break.
Okay, cool, right on.
Yeah,
you know what I think about when I think about
Goose,
Top Gun?
Goose broke his neck. That was the joke. Any 35-year-old fans out there? Anyways, go ahead.
I watched it recently in a gym, and all I remember is that he died, and then they said Goose is dead, and he goes, "I know."
His name's actually Goslin. Or Gosling. Yeah.
But so yeah, looks like a lot of fun. I need to rewatch it, but was Val Kilmer in the trailer and I just didn't see it?
I don't think so. I know he's in the film though.
Okay, well, we know that. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's in another trailer. We can move right into that one if you want. Jay and Silent Bob Reboot got a trailer and an announcement for an entire roadshow tour.
Yeah, I got my tickets.
Nice.
Looks like fun.
What time have you seen it at?
It's the 10 o'clock Friday show, I think. No, it's only one day. It's the 10 o'clock show.
Yeah. But yeah. That opening scene where there's a standoff between them and the police, and he drops his pants for some goodbye horses. I was just like, fuck, of course I'm in for this.
Yeah,
he has no dick.
He's
got a dick.
I was surprised to see Affleck in it.
Yeah.
Because they had a huge falling out.
Actually, that kind of segues into something like Kevin revealed in an Instagram post how that reunion took place, because Affleck there was a journalist who was asking Affleck about Reboot, and Affleck said, I'm available if he wants to do it. And then Kevin's assistant said, give him a call, and he almost didn't do it. And then I guess he sent him an email, and then Affleck responded, and then that's how it happened. So.
Yeah, someone like Kevin Smith should know life's too short. Mm-hmm. You can't hold grudges. I mean, I don't know what their falling out is. I mean, I know it has to do with Jennifer Garner and stuff, but if you have a friend, and I'll say this, that Ben Affleck does owe a lot of his career to Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm. Very much so,
because he.
Well, there was that Oscar that one time, but I guess in order to get there, you have to have Chasing Amy to get there. Yeah, I actually even Mallrats, because that's that in that beginning area too, because Chasing Amy's the same year as Good Will Hunting. So
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so
I think Matt Damon. I saw a little quick shot of him too.
Yeah, he's going to be playing Bartleby.
Nice.
That's got to be what it's getting. Loki. Yeah, sorry, Bartleby's Ben Affleck's character.
He's dead.
I had a debate with somebody trying to figure how the fuck is Loki still alive? And then I remembered he only gets stabbed in Dogma. Mm-hmm. He doesn't explode like Affleck does. So it's highly possible. And maybe Alanis Morissette decided that he should live. So she makes decisions for all of us, guys.
That's right. That'd be ironic.
Get out. But I guess the scene with Affleck, though, is sort of like a mini sequel to Chasing Amy in the respect of just and it relates directly to his heart attack, I guess, by the way he was describing it on the post. So we'll see how that all plays out. More Comic-Con news. I'm going to go back into Marvel now because fuck it, I want to talk about Marvel because this has been exciting. They announced everything ever
Except for Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay, but other than that, they announced everything ever.
I'm interested because they're taking chances.
Oh, yeah. So should I run down the lineup here?
Sure.
We got Black Widow coming first. And then Disney Plus is getting The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then we're getting The Eternals. And then Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. WandaVision coming to the Disney Plus, which that theme song for WandaVision, if you listen, they kind of play it during the panel without the footage. It sounds like a 60s sitcom, like an I Dream of Jeannie thing. So I'm wondering what the tone of this show is.
Well, the font is like a old classic refrigerator emblem.
Yeah, so maybe it's like a sitcom. That'd be
sweet.
cool. And then this is my favorite title in the entire lineup, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I guess Derrickson said on the panel that the only way he was going to come back is if he could delve into the things that the horror and the psychedelic nature and the Jack Kirby of it all. So
Steve Ditko.
Or Steve Ditko, yeah, sorry.
But no, the Nightmare is the villain, and he's a really cool villain. Where he's a demon that he's like Freddy Krueger before there was Freddy Krueger, and he's all powerful. You can't really. He's like
there's no one before me.
But yeah, he's. Yeah, so he just tricks people. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And Derrickson's a great director.
Oh, yeah.
303 represent.
It's not
John Watts is from Denver too.
Yeah.
It's not a film that I watched this week for what we've been watching, but I did watch The Monster finally by Bertino. I'd like him to do a Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, that's a great
like
movie.
an insular one, you know.
Number 10 of my favorite films from 2017.
Yeah, I'm just saying, get more horror directors in this place, you know, like the ones that like Bertino. And then Disney Plus is getting Loki, and that was fun.
Terrible title, font choice.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Were you going crazy?
It was yeah.
It's
as a graphic
busy.
designer, it's busy, but I'm guessing because it's related to whatever the plot is.
Yeah.
And then we're getting the What If series,
Down.
Hawkeye Disney Plus series, and one of the biggest announcements of Thor: Love and Thunder, which we got the announcement that Taika Waititi was returning before the con.
Yeah.
But what we didn't know was that Natalie Portman's coming back, which that sounds fun.
Yeah. It's Jane Foster. She's the Thor in comic books right now, or she was for a while.
Yeah. Well,
Great logos, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. Feige said that they did not have enough time to talk about that they're going to do something with the Fantastic Four or the fact that they're going to talk about mutants, but he brought out a 2-time Academy Award winner to basically announce that eventually we're getting another Blade movie, this time with Mahershala Ali. I'm down with that idea.
No, I think it's awesome.
I wish I didn't have to wait so long because it sounds like it's a Phase 5 thing according to all reports. So.
Yeah, I think there's enough room in their schedule that they might stick another movie in there because there's a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be one of the 3 that wasn't discussed.
This is also 2 years worth of stuff, which is shorter than they've usually presented.
Yeah, so because I can guarantee you that Phase 5 is probably because this is why I think it's a risk because they really don't have big characters in this phase. It's more besides Thor, but it's let's try Black Widow. The Eternals. I don't know. We'll see. It could be like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy was garbage before the movie came out.
I don't know what Shang-Chi is.
It's fun. It's he's a kung fu guy.
And is the Ten Rings thing? That's the organization from Iron Man.
That's the Mandarin.
Yeah. So okay. I was confused when I first saw it because I'm like, I know I've heard that name before. What the heck is it? Oh, Iron Man.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting. I'm one of those people too that a lot of people don't like the twist in Iron Man 3 where the Mandarin is just an actor.
Oh, I think it's
You don't like
wonderful.
it?
No, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the most divisive things when you read about it. And when you watch their last one shot they ever did, where you learn that Ben Kingsley, there is a real Mandarin.
Yeah.
And that he's going to be in this movie now. It's interesting.
Well, it's funny because I thought by the end of it, Aldrich Killian, because he had like the dragon tattoo on his chest, I thought that is the Mandarin. He's like all these different disguises, but
Well, he yells out, "I am the Mandarin" before Gwyneth Paltrow hits him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but there's like a real Mandarin.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like a guy pulling strings. And so I think this one they're trying out new things, and I'm thinking 5 is going to be Guardians, Captain Marvel, and Spider-Man again,
And maybe a little Black Panther too.
and Black Panther.
Unless, like I say, like they may stick something like that in there if they get them developed. But Black Panther 2 script is still being written, according to the last report.
Yeah.
Guardians 3 doesn't happen until the Suicide Squad happens.
Yep.
And Captain Marvel 2, it sounds like they're trying to get Bowden and Fleck back on board to direct.
They just have work to do. And
Yeah.
so you announce the stuff that you can. And, I like the Natalie Portman thing that they actually locked her up about 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And that they're able to keep secrets is pretty astounding.
Yeah. And also, I'm excited, without seeing too much of it, obviously, because the footage wasn't shown, for What If.
Yeah,
That's
that's a cool idea.
That and Jeffrey Wright playing the Watcher sounds like fun.
Yeah,
lots of cool stuff from Marvel.
Yeah,
coming
Marvel
up.
kind of crushed the thing. I remember as soon as that.
They gave out free hats and then took a giant ass photo with all the fans with hats. They're nice people.
What if is Marvel's Elseworlds, right?
So it's what if Wolverine killed the Hulk?
I guess they're going to use it with scenes from Marvel Cinematic Universe already established, is what they said, because they have a lineup of all the actors that are technically returning in their voice form.
Yeah, so it's an animated one. It's interesting. We'll see.
Yep. Within that panel, though, before we leave, James can calm down because Avengers Endgame is now the biggest film of all time,
Yes.
according to.
Thank you, Brad, for your contributions to that.
Yep.
I did my best. I wish I could have done more, really.
I mean, everybody
That's
does what
all
they
right.
can.
Could have done it sooner.
They're talking about if Avatar will eventually pass it. I don't know. Is there enough?
Well, there's
hype
the
for
caveat
Avatar?
of inflation, so...
Yeah, but is there enough hype for Avatar? I don't.
Oh, the new ones?
Yeah.
In this day and age, things are still surprising.
Yeah, I just
how popular some things are.
because I still don't understand the popularity of Avatar. I mean, it was cool, and I guess it's because it's the first really big 3D movie.
Yeah.
I'm guessing what it has to be. But I never understood how it was so popular.
I think unless James Cameron has a new technological innovation up his sleeve, I can't see what the draw would be.
Yeah, and it's so long
Unless you do
between
the story.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, when's 2021? So 12 years?
I feel like it's been too long for us to get as excited about it as unless there is a fan base that I'm not aware of. So
it helps that they're now part of Disney.
yeah,
Where Disney knows how to market stuff.
and they have a theme park attraction.
I mean, it's already marketed.
Yeah.
So it's built in. There's an audience built in for it. Obviously, I mean, it's made a lot of money.
Speaking of which, just a pitch. Real nerds go to Star Wars Land and sit in the Millennium Falcon.
I'm down.
Oh, dude, that'd be so cool.
I heard it's actually easy to get in because they underestimated...
Or do you think they scared people with what they were saying?
I think the prices are still just too high for most people, and they assume people would pay that
Maybe.
without question.
Anyway, though, Ryan, I've got some Comic-Con news that you're not going to give a shit about, but Brad and I are. We got a Picard trailer. And
don't play it.
Oh, I'm going to do it.
Don't you push that fucking button.
engage.
He ruined your thing.
I know. I can't even do jokes. The thing, here, let me explain it to you, Zach, so you can pick up what I was putting down. So I was saying, don't play that trailer. And then I was like, don't play, and I stopped in mid-sentence because Brad was going to play it because he's basically saying, fuck you. Mm-hmm. But then you said engage, so you ruined my joke.
Oh.
My show, my jokes. Shut your fucking mouth. Now play that goddamn trailer. No, the trailer looks badass. I mean, I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but it looks fun.
Would you watch it even though you haven't watched TNG?
I don't want to have to get CBS All Access, so probably not.
Anything to not watch a Trek show. You found every avenue.
No, I just don't. I don't
You
have.
could get UK Amazon Prime and watch it.
Or
That's
can I can sign up for a month free and wait till it's all released, and I
Yeah.
can watch it then.
Tell you what, I'll just give you my password and you can watch it that way.
See, okay, there we go.
Yeah,
and
there
I'll
you go.
watch it.
But yeah, no, that trailer looked like fun. Lots of fun.
I'm a production value. Discovery already looks like a movie, but Picard really looks like it's
Well,
it
I
could be a
think-
feature film.
Honestly, I think that's why Patrick Stewart came back, because I'm sure he wasn't going to come back if it wasn't look good or the stories weren't good. Because yeah, it's an important character for him, but you got to make it look big.
Yeah.
Because now Star Trek, I mean, the movies have a look to them that they've never had before.
yeah.
You got to keep up with Star Wars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was most impressed by the fact that they're I already assumed yeah, sure, of course, across the season I'm sure they'll sprinkle in other cast members from Next Gen. We've already heard Riker's coming back and Data's in the trailer, but I'm sure Beverly and Worf, they'll all show up at some point.
Hashtag
but even
we
more
want
impressive
Worf.
was that there's characters from Voyager, because
Yeah, we
7
get
of 9 is in there.
Yep, Jerry Ryan's coming back, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot of older next-gen villains coming back or something like that, just based off of the vibe of everything. It looks spectacular. I like how it's... Because I was worried that this was just going to... When I heard other cast members were coming back, I was just like, oh, it's just going to be a TNG reboot. But the trailer firmly establishes that he's leading a new crew, and they're like asking for his assistance.
I already got that. I mean, I've only seen a handful of Next Generation, but I got that from the poster. Like, I didn't feel like this was a piggybacking off of Next Generation. I felt that, and then when I saw the footage, I'm like, no, it's definitely going to stand on its own, and it's going to have its own feel and its own look. But you're also embracing, the fans that are already there, and you got to bring new people in because, I mean, at the end of the day, CBS All Access wants people to subscribe,
right?
So it has to be accessible to everybody,
right? No, it was just one of those things, like because we'd only seen that teaser with him going through the vineyard and then seeing the Starfleet insignia. So I was just like, we were saying for a couple weeks, like, what is this show? Is it actually even happening? Is this just a big trolling event by CBS?
I guess you can have the show written before you have the showrunner established. So
yeah. So, but yeah, no, that trailer looked fun, and the final moment with Data, I was just like, okay, there's now going to be 3 shows that CBS All Access has that I want. So.
I'm curious if it is Data because obviously the real Data blew up in Nemesis.
It's probably B4, but he's assumed Data.
Well, we don't know what the shot is in reference to, but I'm wondering because also in the last episode of Next Gen, they flirted with the idea that Picard is losing his mind in his old age. So I wonder if it's, he's playing this chess game that's just in his head in order to
That'd be cool.
resolve certain whatever conflicts he's experiencing in real life.
The only thing that tells me that it is going to be some form of Data is the ending of Nemesis when they do that whistle scene with Before. So. Yeah. But I mean, again, you probably have a good idea on your hands there that I hope that they work with.
Yeah, physically it has to be B4, but also in the time it has passed, maybe Data's memory transfer has, grown and learned and reassumed, its normal status. So we'll see.
I want the end of the first season of Picard to reveal John Delancey as Q, and I just want John Delancey as Q back. That's a thing I want back from the original show because I like watching John Delancey do stuff.
You just said the show looks cool.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know about these cool characters that we're talking about, Ryan.
I don't know any of them.
And he's got a dog called Number One.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's going to be awesome. Also, at Comic-Con, we got a Watchmen trailer for the HBO show. Looks interesting.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I don't know I still don't know exactly what they're doing. I know it takes place after Watchmen, but I don't know what... There's a League of Rorschachs that were probably inspired by the guy who got the manifesto at the end of Watchmen. Yep. And Adrian Veidt's being played by Jeremy Irons, so... I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. It
Do
exists.
you like Watchmen?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, right on. I'm going to move out of Comic-Con, though, because we got some other good news. Ryan, we're getting 2 Halloween sequels back to back.
I love the titles, too.
Yeah, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. That is just...
That'd be fun.
Will it end, really?
No, it won't, but shut up.
I know what's going to happen. It's going to when the last one happens, they're going to say, "Well, that ends the Laurie Strode story," and then because they've always said that there's no way you're just going to kill Michael Myers because, I mean, you just won't.
No, because Mustafa Akkad will rise from the grave and kill you. That's what happens there.
That will definitely happen.
You know what? Donald Pleasance once said, "I'll keep making them, and I'll stop at 22."
Yeah.
And so maybe that's their whole intention.
Interesting style that it's cool they're shooting them back to back. There's always a risky proposition when you do that because you got to maintain the audience from the record setting reboot or continuation of the story.
Rebootquel.
Yeah, and then you got to make them want to see the ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested. I mean, obviously they have an idea because
and they have enough confidence.
They've already written both scripts. So
well, they were originally going to do a back to back for that first one, and then they ended up collapsing it into the one script. So I'm wondering what they've done with this one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, not a long time to wait.
And Jamie Lee Curtis says she's coming back, and I was just like, badass, I'm there. David Gordon Green's coming back, totally. I mean, of course I'm there. It's Halloween. It's Michael Myers. Yeah. So, yeah, big news on that front. We also got some more Blumhouse news, though. The Invisible Man reboot cast its Invisible Man, Oliver Jackson Cohen. He's from Hill House, which I haven't watched yet.
It's good.
So now I have another reason to watch it.
Check it out.
Yeah, he looks like he could be an Invisible Man.
I'm down for the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you hear the plot
most
synopsis?
underrated Universal monster.
Well, he has the most kills, as we've discussed
Oh, yeah.
before. Yeah, he's
Easy.
killed
Yeah.
hundreds of
Yep.
people.
Claude Rains is amazing.
Have you heard the plot synopsis for this reboot?
Nope.
It's kind of like Elizabeth Moss's character is kind of like the through line, and the Invisible Man is a true villain. So
Sweet.
they're not going to try to make him heroic and whatnot. We got 2 scary trailers. First one, Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell, got a full trailer that actually showed footage, and it looks fun.
Looks all right.
But the thing is, you've got to go to a Fathom event to see it in the theater, so hopefully I'll have a chance to see it. If not,
Yeah.
I'll wait till video later on.
Are they releasing it the same day as VOD though?
I didn't say there. They're doing like a 3-day event where one day each has a screening of the film, but like one of the days is going to be a House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell night. So
That's 6.5 hours of Rob Zombie filmmaking.
yep. And then the other scary trailer we got was the trailer for Cats.
The fuck?
I know. Did you get scared? Because I got
I
scared.
didn't get scared. I look at. I go, what the fuck? What are we watching?
I'm just baffled, because if you're going to make a new Cats movie in a CGI world, why would you make them because before it's just humans in like cat fur costumes, but you're gonna now you have the opportunity to make them exactly look like cats.
That's what I mean.
But you're gonna give them like human faces without cat noses, and
because why can't you just have Jennifer Hudson be a cat?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like keep their eyes so you can connect with them, but you can make the rest of it look exactly like a cat.
Yeah, I've never seen the musical Cats,
Especially after seeing today's movie, you can make it look exactly like a cat.
Yeah, no doubt. So
I'm just upset because Kevin Smith only got $1 to $2 million to make Tusk, and they gave like hundreds of millions of dollars to this piece of garbage. So I'm just saying the world is unfair.
I mean, I can't say the movie's not going to be good because obviously I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but
It's just unusual. But I guess they're trying to keep the aesthetic of the musical.
which is totally cool. I mean, have you heard the cast recording for Cats?
Oh, I mean, I know the songs, of course.
yeah. So like,
I'm impressed with the production design, like how everything, all the sets are gigantic.
But
things.
who's directing it again?
Tom Hooper.
Tom.
So are we going to see them, like the actual sets, or is it going to be like Les Miserables, where I'm not going to see anything? It's going to have weird close-up and Dutch angles of people.
The whole trailer looked like it was a bunch of close-ups, except for that final shot in the square. So
I just hire Rob Marshall. He can do musicals.
yeah, exactly. He's proven it time and time again.
However,
Second to last piece of news. Bring it back to Kevin Smith for a second. Remember Clerks 3? That thing that was going to happen and then didn't happen? It's technically going to happen now.
Anderson.
Wait, the movie's gonna happen?
No.
Oh.
You can, if you have a lot of money, you can go hear a live reading of the script in New Jersey on Kevin's birthday in like 2 weeks. So I don't know if that applies to anybody. If any of our listeners can do it and then report back to us what happens
Hopefully
in
they put
Clerks
it in
3,
a podcast. Yeah.
I would love for that to happen. But the cause is to support a local theater that does like local theatrical productions and whatnot.
Cool.
So that's why the ticket price is super high. And then the last piece of news, Space Jam 2, trouble on the set. Not really. They just replaced the director. Malcolm D. Lee is now going to be directing Space Jam 2.
I thought that movie was a slam dunk. Yep, I went there.
I mean, it's going to be a sequel to Space Jam. That's all I can expect. The only thing I'm excited about in Looney Tunes land these days is those new shorts they're putting out,
Yep.
which they look amazing.
All right, we'll see.
And that's news.
Brad, take me around town to a magical place called the theater that you can drive into. I think it's called the drive-in.
Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver.
This week at the drive-in, they are playing The Lion King, followed by Toy Story 4, followed by Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
So-
a really family-friendly lineup they got there.
Yep.
It's almost like it's all Disney related.
It's like each movie gets better.
Yeah, so the comments better not say, like, why don't you guys play kids' movies? Because now you're getting them all.
That's actually pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, that's a solid one. What's going on at the Esquire next week?
This week at the Esquire, I forgot to look it up.
I will say that if you want to join me for a birthday celebration, I'll be seeing North by Northwest at the Chez Artiste
Yes, actually,
on August 28th.
Yeah, August 28th is the start of
Wait, you were born?
Yeah.
Wait.
No, I was created. I
You
don't
were
know.
afterbirthed.
Something.
You're forced into this world.
Yeah.
But no, the Chez Artiste is going to be doing a Hitchcock with a Twist series. So August 28th, they're going to be doing North by Northwest. The following week, they're doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is the Screwball Hitchcock with Carol Lombard and Robert Montgomery. Following week, they're going to do Rope. And then they're going to end it with a Hitchcock-inspired film by Stanley Donen called Charade.
You know, that's Grant's most beloved film.
Is Charade? Really?
Yeah.
All right, I figured it out.
Cool.
The midnight this week is The Room on Friday and Rocky Horror Picture Show on Saturday. But speaking of The Room, in September, September 20th and 21st, Tommy Wiseau will be in person at the midnight screenings of The Room.
Might have to be a time I have to go see The Room.
You have to do it.
Big Denver premiere.
I already got my
Hi,
tickets
Ryan.
for
Oh, hi,
Friday.
Ryan. I heard you're a Real Nerds podcast guy.
You might be able to buy his underwear.
I'm good.
Dude, no, I'm doing it. I'll frame it and put it on the wall and be like, yeah, see, that was underwear I took from a madman.
So, in a change of form, they'll be screening it in both upstairs and downstairs theaters. So there are separate ticket links, and each of those is $20. So
And
not
so-
the normal $9.50.
And somehow Tommy will be in
But
both
that's what Tommy
rooms.
was. Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah,
$20.
Yeah, not at all.
totally worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did we pay to see Greg Sestero do that live reading that one time? Like,
Yeah, probably $20.
yeah, so there you go.
And then another 20 for food because is the ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
They got to make the money.
but yeah, and then the following week is the 40-hour film project. And then that weekend, the Esquire's playing Ninja Scroll, which I'm sad to miss
Oh.
because I'll be
I have to go see that. I haven't seen that in a long time.
I've never seen Ninja.
the Alamo's playing it, so on a different.
The Alamo's
day, so,
playing it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
I bet I
go
could use
instead.
my Alamo season pass for that.
Yeah. But August 11th, you can come watch whatever I make from that weekend.
Nice. Let him go, Tessai. But I will kill him. I haven't seen fucking Ninja Scroll forever.
Would I like it?
If you like violent anime with boobs, that's why I love it.
I mean, I've
And rape.
it's not like
Oh yeah, there is rape in it.
wow.
Fuck.
Okay, now
That movie is weird. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in a really long
It's
time.
hardcore.
well, now I have to think about it.
No, it's fun.
Um,
Besides the rape.
I still haven't seen Akira yet.
I mean,
either,
there's
so
anime.
I,
Rape.
there's
Any Aqua
Tonight.
You, me,
what?
rape.
Hand banana.
Oh, okay. Now I remember.
How long has Aqua Teen been off the air?
Too long.
10
Too
years?
long. You know, it's weird. They had like one season, I think, mid-decade, but that was like after like 4 years of not having anything. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about Ninja Scroll, and I still need to see Akira. So I'm not a big anime guy. So.
I'm not either, but we can talk about some Japanese filmmaking with Corinne and catching the classics with Corinne.
Hey nerds, Corinne here for part 20.9 of Catching the Classics, which is actually part 9 of Catching the Miyazaki Classics, where I'm going through all 11 films directed by Hayao Miyazaki. This week I tackle what I think is his best film, Princess Mononoke. So, quick spoiler-free synopsis. The movie is about a young man named Ashitaka who's the prince of his village, and one day a demon attacks, and while trying to fight off the demon, Ashitaka is cursed, and because of that, his village ends up banishing him, and he journeys to the west to find where the demon came from, and while doing so, he stumbles upon this conflict between the spirits and gods of the forest and this human settlement called Irontown. So, I'm probably going to be getting into some major spoilers after this, so if you haven't seen the movie, I really recommend that you do. But you should check out realnerdspodcast.com because I will have some spoiler-free thoughts up there for you to read. But yeah, like I said, I think this is his best movie. it's kind of right up there with Spirited Away. These two are, they're right there. And I think Spirited Away is a little bit more family friendly and a little bit more approachable. But I think that this Princess Mononoke film is the world building, the music, the themes, and different aspects that are brought in. It's an epic adventure, and for that, I think it gets a little bit of an edge over Spirited Away for me, but I know other people out there disagree. So, but anyway, gonna be getting into spoilers here probably. So if you don't want it to be spoiled, go check out the podcast, or go check out the realnerdspodcast.com website, and then just skip the rest of this. So, yeah, this is such a good movie, and like I said, it really does have an epic feel to it. The animation is, I think this is where you kind of start to see Studio Ghibli, at least of Miyazaki's films, you start to see them transition, the colors start to pop a little bit more. You see, I think this is the first Miyazaki movie that integrated CGI into the hand-drawn animation, and it's pretty flawless. Like, I know where it is because I'm looking for it, but I think if you didn't know that, you would just be like, oh, it's like really good, and it is. I've said before that I do have a few tiny problems with the voice cast. The guy who plays Ashitaka in the English version, his name is Billy Crudup. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but he's kind of flat sometimes. There are a couple of instances, like, for instance, when he leaves his village and he's saying goodbye to his sister for the last time, and he says some line to her, and then he, like, rides off, and it was like, that was it? Like, that was your final emotional goodbye? And I didn't watch the Japanese version, so I can't really compare, like, oh, was the line delivery flat there too? Or, I don't know what the direction was there, but for me, I would have been like, can you get a little tiny bit more emotional about it? You're leaving your village for the last time. You're saying goodbye to your sister. Something. I don't know. But, I mean, for the most part, he does a good job whenever he's, like, shouting and yelling and telling everybody to chill out. He does a good job. But, yeah, the weak link of the cast for me is Billy Bob Thornton, who plays Jigo, and I don't know if it's Billy Bob Thornton or if it's the character of Jigo, but I just find that whole, like, the character annoying, and granted, he's not in the movie too much, but once he kind of comes back in the third act, it's like, oh, okay, well, there's Jigo, and he does serve his purpose in the story, and, he accomplishes what he needs to, but I just find the character really annoying. Unlike our Lady Eboshi, who's played by Minnie Driver, she, I think, is the better antagonist of the two, just because she's a little bit more fleshed out, and she's a little bit more complex, and obviously you spend a lot more time with her, and I think she's maybe the best antagonist of any of Miyazaki's movies, just because she is complex, and she does want to do right by people. Like, she does want to give people the dignity that they deserve. And unfortunately, her problem is that she doesn't give the forest and the gods and the spirits the dignity that they deserve. And instead, she's just trying to, like, do her own industrial, technological advancement. And, I can't fault her for trying to make people's lives better, but it's like, just like Ashitaka says, like, you have to do it in a way that's in harmony with the forest and the spirits and everybody around you. So, yeah, I love pretty much everybody else's performance. Claire Danes, the lady who plays Moro, I can't think of her name, Gillian Anderson, there we go. They do a great job. Yeah, really everybody except for Billy Crudup, sort of, and Billy Bob Thornton. Everybody else does great. Like I said, this story, the world building, the designs and the creatures, and just, I mean, everything about this movie is just so, like, it gives you that vibe of, like, the old and the mystical and the ancient and, you know, the spirits and the gods, and that opening, it just, gives me chills just thinking about it. And I will, once again, I gotta give props to the composer for the movie, Joe Hisaishi. As I've said, he composes pretty much all of Miyazaki's movies. And I think that while Ponyo is like right up there with it, I think that this is his best outing as a composer. I love all the themes in this movie. The Legend of Ashitaka arguably is so good. Like, I think The Legend of Ashitaka is the best thing that Joe Hisaishi has ever written. And it's almost like too good for the character of Ashitaka. Like, I like him as a character, but I feel like everybody around him is a little bit more interesting than he is, and he's just kind of like, I guess, our avatar into this world of gods and monsters and demons and humans all fighting and stuff. So, you know, it's understandable, but it's almost like, dang it, he gets like the best theme in the movie, and he's arguably the most boring character. He really isn't, but of the main characters, he's the least interesting, I would say. But yeah, so Joe Hisaishi has a great outing, all the different themes that pop up with, you know, the demon and San or Princess Mononoke, and there at the end when you know all the forests and the plants start coming back and everything starts turning green, and San and Ashitaka go their separate ways, and that theme is great. Yeah, and everything about this movie is cool. I just love like the forest spirit. I think his design is super cool, especially when he's the Nightwalker and he's, you know, it's eerie. This movie has such atmosphere to it, and I don't know if I can think of another movie of his that has an equal amount of, it just puts you right in to that kind of time and place and era and the kind of mythology that's going on. So that's why I really think that this is his best movie. It's also his most adult movie because you do have the PG-13 rating for all the times like Ashitaka is like chopping off people's arms and heads and stuff. Yeah, this is a pretty brutal movie. But on top of the violence, it's also just kind of what happens with Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, where it's this very layered and kind of heavy thing going on where, you know, you have like the industrial themes, and you have the environmental theme and different things like that. So you see that here as well, you know, the political thing with like the samurai versus Irontown. You've got the environmental message with like the spirits of the forest, and you've got the technological or industrial message with Irontown and them mining for iron in the sand. So yeah, it's a very involved movie, but I think, you know, the pacing and just the writing like brings you into the world and just immerses you in it to the point where when the head, you know, they cut off the head of the forest spirit, you're like, oh shit, no, and you freak out along with Ashitaka and San, that you're like, oh shit, now what? No, don't do it, Eboshi. Maybe that's just me, but at least for me, it's his best outing, I think. And it's kind of interesting that Spirited Away comes like right after it. So it seems like he doesn't really have a bad movie, but it seems like these movies here in the middle of his career are kind of the peak for him, where it's like Princess Mononoke, which is what I would argue is his best movie, and then Spirited Away, which I know a lot of other people argue is his best. But like I said, they're right there. They're both equally good. It's just a matter of story and pacing and family friendliness and different things like that. So yeah, so unsurprisingly, I'm going to give Princess Mononoke an A. I can't give it an A+ just because I do have problems with like Billy Bob Thornton and Jigo and a couple of other things, but they're very, very minor compared to what this movie brings to the table. So, got one more. We're doing our finale is going to be my favorite Miyazaki movie, and that is Howl's Moving Castle, which I've watched a lot in recent years. So I'm interested to see how it holds up now that I've seen all of his other films. And I gotta admit, like, I have wanted to like sit down and watch it so many other times. Like, after I watched Porco Rosso or, Spirited Away or whatever, I was like, I want to watch Howl's Moving Castle now, damn it. And I was like, no, I have to hold out until the very end. I have to save it for last. So finally get to revisit Howl's Moving Castle. So I will talk to you all about that next time, and I hope you had fun at your movie this week. Bye.
Maybe the most well-known Studio Ghibli film?
I don't know. I don't know what the consensus is
I would
on that.
say so.
That or Spirited Away?
Yeah. Both good movies.
No. It's got Totoro.
I think Totoro is more
think
popular
so.
than Mononoke.
I think. I mean, as far as I've been alive, I like everything goes back to Totoro.
Oh, I guess you're probably right because of the character, and he's so well known and licensed that you're probably right. But good movie.
Yeah. No, I mean, I see Miyazaki movies. That's what I do see.
It's hard for me to always follow up Corinne because she does a great job explaining the films.
Yeah, she breaks it down.
She breaks it down very well.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember the last time I saw Mononoke, though.
I
mean, I don't know. I'll have to check it out now.
When I was in high school, those things were popular. So those films were popular. And so it's been a long time since I've seen them.
Hey, they're not things; they're films.
I've never seen it. Sorry, I was just frustrated because I looked up the Alamo screening of Ninja Scroll, and both the days they're showing it are the Sunday of the 48 ending, and then the Sunday of the 48 premieres. So I still can't see it.
Bummer. But you'll be winning the 48-hour film festival. I made sure that I put money into Chad's pocket when he was here.
Oh, cool! Thanks.
So it has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just been a judge to help me out that way.
Oh, can I? How do you volunteer? Do you have to volunteer?
I mean, you probably just say, "Hey, Chad, I want to judge."
Yeah, and then,
I'm good at judging film. I work for Realness Podcast.
I am good at judging film. Everyone sucks except for Brad's.
Yeah,
and so I'll give you a 10, and everyone else will get a 2. And then there's no way by weighting the system that you can lose. I'm sure I'll get picked now.
Yeah, well, try again next year, I guess.
Ryan, what if I made a film and put it into 48 hours?
Sorry, it's Brad.
Okay.
I want to hear about your fucking Twombly 2 Electric Radio Land.
Oh, I'm gonna Electrical Radio Land. Oh, fuck the Twombly 2. Let's make a movie called Electric Radio Land.
Done.
Oh my god, it's like a post-apocalyptic world where radio rules everything. Ugh. Anyway, cool.
Yeah, movies come out on Blu-ray that sometimes we're interested in purchasing. Here's movies that are being released on Blu-ray.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. I feel like it's a sea of things that Ryan doesn't want.
Perfect.
We'll start off with the 4K and Blu-rays of Alita Battle Angel. You can pick that up.
That sounds like a red box rental for me.
Did you not see it in theaters? Or?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's fun. It's fine. And then Criterion's putting out a couple things. They're putting out 1984. They're putting out Do the Right Thing, which they had already done years ago, but they'd never done a Blu-ray of it. So
there's like a 180-page booklet with it.
With Do the Right Thing?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out because that Criterion sale's still going on.
Violence solves problems.
Find out and do the right thing. We're also getting a 4K of The Doors, which, okay, sure.
Val Kilmer's great in that.
He is. I don't really like the movie. But
nope.
Yeah, but
Val Kilmer's great in it.
He certainly commits. Hellboy, the David Harbour reboot that I guess went nowhere.
Yeah.
Apparently...
You've seen the movie, right?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh.
But I will have a chance to very soon because Prime's going to have it the day that it drops on 4K and Blu-ray.
So they're, please give us money, Lionsgate.
Yeah, that went out of theaters fast.
Ryan, though, here's something we're both going to love. Universal Horror Collection Volume 2 from Scream Factory coming this week. You will get Murder in the Zoo, Murders in the Zoo, The Mad Ghoul, The Mad Doctor on Market Street, and The Strange Case of Dr. RX.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are fun. The Mad Ghoul is one I'm familiar with. The other three I'm not.
If you like those old school horrors, I haven't had a chance to check them out, but I do know that Scream Factory puts tons of special features on them, and they make them worth your while.
I have the Boris and Bella one coming to me, and they packed that thing. They packed it. Arrow is putting out Weird Science, so that's interesting. It's
One
just
of Robert Downey Jr.'s first roles.
yeah.
Was that his first one? It might be his first movie. Not his first movie, but his first real movie.
Like a
he's
professional
put in,
one.
yeah, he's put in his dad's movies as like a kid.
Those are something different.
Yeah, his
they're
dad-
good, but they're
His
different.
dad's a little goofy.
Yeah.
Are you going to rebuy it because it's Robert Downey Jr.?
Probably not. Because I think the Arrow one is probably $39. That's really expensive.
I don't need. It's kind of like
If they
when
had an hour and a half interview with Robert Downey Jr., then I would consider it.
Yeah. Did you get the Criterion of the Breakfast Club?
No.
See, that's kind of something where I'm just like, do I need that? I mean, it's a good film, but
Well, you need to buy it so it supports Criterion, putting out the smaller releases. But
Yeah.
that is true. And also, you can get Missing Link, the
I love
2019
Missing
Leica
Link.
film.
I
That
like
was a
that
good
one.
film. Yeah. You could check that
It's
out.
one of my favorites from this year.
Yeah. And then Critters Attack. This one I'm not aware of.
That's a new sci-fi or Shudder film. I can't remember.
Shudder's doing the series, so this
Oh,
is
so it's
supposed to be
must be a
sci-fi.
sci-fi one.
Yeah.
I heard it's not bad on Bloody Disgusting. Gave it an okay review.
Well, then we'll have to check it out and give our takes on it. The Kino Lorber is putting out a Gene Arthur, Edward Arnold film, Easy Living, which also has Ray Milland, who would go on to win an Oscar for The Lost Weekend. And then a Frederick March movie called Death Takes a Holiday from 1934.
I watched a Frederick March movie this week.
I know, and we're going to hear about it very soon. And then there is a 30th anniversary edition of Troop Beverly Hills, the Shelley Long classic that first I did not know had a fan following,
Yeah.
which is cool. I just didn't know it was there. And other than that, a lot of anime. Lots and lots of anime.
Going back to Comic-Con announcements, Simpsons fans will finally get season 19 on DVD.
Yep.
Not this week, but in the future. But I'm guessing they'll probably stop now that all 20 are out. So there's no holes in the lineup.
Bummer.
Yeah.
They do.
Just because it's going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, the DVDs they put out are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 18 is still like $40 though.
Yeah.
Actually, also on that front from Comic-Con news, Shout Factory and Scream Factory decided to just make it Christmas for Ryan and I because
Yep.
we're getting Big Trouble in Little China as a collector's edition.
Yep.
We're getting a Fly collection. We're getting The Prophecy. We're getting Pet Sematary 2, which I don't know if that's Christmas for us, but that's a fun flick from Mary
I see
Lambert.
Silver Bullet's coming out, and I got the Umbrella, the Australian release of it, and I'll have to see what they put on it because the Australian release is pretty good. So
They may have cool artwork, though, that you might want. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I hate being a collector.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, they're going to fill
A lot
our
of
hearts with joy.
movies.
There's also a Shout Select is putting out Twins,
Yeah,
which that looks fun.
I know. Last fucking action hero. That's all I want in my life.
I have a feeling you're going to get it next year, and then when that happens, world's gonna.
Well, Brad did send me the survey. You can put it as you want it as 4K, which because I really want to, someone to actually do features on it because I know it's one of the most notorious bombs
Isn't
ever.
John McTiernan in jail though?
No, he's out.
Okay.
When was John McTiernan in jail?
A couple years ago, like tax evasion or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, what? Did
It's
he-
like the Wesley Snipes thing. I don't know.
I guess
Oh,
you could get Shane Black in for an interview.
Oh yeah, I bet Schwarzenegger would do one.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we wanted to make the movie, we wanted them. I can't do a Schwarzenegger. I don't know.
we wanted to make the movie. Shoot it, John.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
So misunderstood.
I almost bought Lockup on Blu-ray, like almost bought it, and then the same day, I saw an announcement for the 4K version.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm glad it's getting a 4K, but I'm just like, of all the other movies that I want, like
but
Last
Lionsgate
Action
always
Hero.
does that. Like Lionsgate puts out weird ones.
Yeah.
Really weird ones.
They have the
I'm
rights.
guessing it's because Rambo
Yeah.
Last Blood's coming out. Huh?
They have access to titles in the horror genre. Like they just have a library built up that Scream Factory would love to get.
Oh yeah. Well, they put out the Vestron stuff. That's actually a Lionsgate release.
How many titles have I seen?
They
though,
haven't,
for
they haven't put out
Vestron?
one like in a year.
Yeah, because Maximum Overdrive was the last one, right?
I think so, or maybe Dagon. I don't remember. But it might be Maximum Overdrive.
That's also one that I see at affordable prices, but I've never picked it up, and I don't know why.
It exists.
That's a great trailer because Stephen King's friggin' nuts in it.
Yeah, that's an alright movie.
I wish someone would wrestle Super Mario Brothers away from Disney so I can get at least a Blu-ray of it,
They will maybe eventually.
or I'll have to move to England.
That sounds like a Shout Select kind of movie.
No, that
England
sounds
has
like
it.
Disney Movie Club.
Disney Movie Club exclusive.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Cool. We watch movies throughout the week, or in some cases more than a week, in a segment I call what we've been watching. Brad?
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Kick us off with something sweet.
Something sweet. Let's see what I got here. On the plane back from work a couple weeks ago, I watched The Biggest Little Farm.
Did it move you?
Huh?
Did it move you?
It was a sweet movie. It's just about this. The trailer. It's exactly what the trailer advertised. You kind of watch this family live in an apartment. They get a dog. The dog's too rambunctious to live in the apartment. They almost get evicted. Somehow they have a ton of money, so they can go buy this farm. They hire some special farm guy who knows about creating farms that are more in tune with the ecosystem. And for like 7 to 8 years, they struggle and learn along the way. The guy, their mentor, dies in the middle of it from cancer, I think it was. Yeah. And they have to figure out on their own after that. And it's a lot of just dealing with predators invading the property and pests and climate and all that stuff. And it's pretty much just kind of like a short documentary of their lives for that period of time. And as it was ending, I was landing, and I was really distracted by the fact that we were like doing circles around DIA, and it was really shaky, so I wasn't able to pay attention to like their kid was born and like next thing.
Yeah, that's always hard when like the plane rocks.
Yeah,
to focus. I mean, I'm not afraid of flying; it's just obnoxious.
I'm fine with flying. It's the crashing that I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that either.
Speak for yourselves. I'm afraid of the flying and the crashing.
Meh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'll die.
Also, while I was flying, I got to watch. They also had 3 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show.
Is it good?
Which is fun. The 3 episodes are basically more isolated aspects of the movie. So, like, one episode is about the werewolves. Another one is the main vampire coming to town. So all those aspects that were in one movie, they kind of spread out across 2.
Flesh it out more.
Yeah, but I think my favorite part is I don't remember this being in the movie, but there was like that one human guy who wasn't a vampire, but he was just kind of like their roommate. But in the show, he's a energy vampire. Do they have that in the movie?
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, so he's just like an office guy who, he's the guy that will just come up to people's cubicles and, talk about stuff that's like just, draining. Like, you just get exhausted listening to their stories. There's another episode where, he feeds off of everyone's energy, and you think it's just like this metaphor or whatever for that. But then this girl gets hired at his office, and she's an emotional vampire. So she's the girl with all like the sad stories, like, I'm having a tough time today because my cat died, and my sister's in a coma. He's competing with her suddenly because she's sucking all the energy out of the office. And then all of a sudden, like later in the episode, they confront each other and they start floating. So they are like supernatural characters, but like instead of blood, they feed off of different energies, and it's pretty funny. The energy vampire is one of Dwight's like friends from The Office, the one who like hits the beehive. So the movie's fun, and then like one of the main vampires is I think the guy from the IT Crowd.
Oh, Richard Adedoy.
No, he's like the boss. He had like the really professional voice.
I haven't seen IT
Anyway,
Crowd.
he has like his hobby.
I just know Richard Adedoy from that Watch movie.
His hobby is what is it called when you do like garden sculptures?
Landscaping, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's just garden sculpturing, but
Edward Scissorhanding.
Yeah, but his sculptures are all just like vaginas of women he like admires, and like one of them is his mom's. It's pretty subversive, and it's pretty. Yeah, I wish there were more episodes. I would have watched them all, but there was only 3. So
what network is it on?
FX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or FXX maybe.
Fix. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fucks.
So yeah, I gotta figure out how to watch more of those. Let's see. I watched Far From Home again in 3D. Well, again, but in 3D. And the 3D experience was great. And the movie is still fun. Because of our 1999 film Explosion, I went back and rewatched some of those 99 movies. I lost my Mystery Men HD DVD somehow.
It's again, no one wants you to have that technology. God's telling you something.
There was plenty of other, like, they could take my Four Brothers HD DVD. I mean, I wouldn't
that
miss
was
that
a movie
much.
when you text that. I was like, oh, yeah, it's a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yep.
I only have it because of, when you bought the player, they offered like
Oh, yeah,
5
yeah.
movies with it. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll take this. And
All the movies.
Because you only had 5 movies at the time.
yeah. But it's funny because the last time I moved, I lost Mystery Team. So
Weird.
both times I've moved, I've lost a movie with mystery, and it's a mystery.
Are there any other movies titled Mystery that you are at
Mystery
risk of-
Alaska.
I'm worried about my Mystery Science Theater Blu-rays now.
Oh God, they're all going.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the movie.
So I rewatched Mystery Men, and aside from the CGI being so dated, it's actually pretty impressive. Like how, like it looks like a pretty big budget movie, but that director didn't do much of anything else feature film wise after that. There's a commentary on the DVD, so he talks about that. I rewatched Payback. It's weird. Like there's some bonus features or something on the like it shows the movie without the desaturation. It might even be just the trailers, but it was less digital back then, so it was interesting that they had both. And the movie's interesting noir. Like, I really forgot how much Mel Gibson is a villain, like, because he is the hero of the movie,
But he's not really a good guy.
but he's actually like pretty scummy. But it's great how he turns the tables on all the even, I guess, worse guys in the movie. And then The Matrix. I kind of forgotten how small the movie actually is.
Yeah.
Way
more contained.
Yeah, like there's not a ton of action in it. Like the stuff you remember is the action in the movie, and I'd forgotten all the connecting tissue of it.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
There's a lot more setting up that world in there than you remember sometimes.
Yeah, there's just a lot of explanation of things, especially from Morpheus. Just feeling everything out. But yeah, because of the other two being so much like Star Warsian epics, I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
So it's almost like all those dialogue scenes, like, because there are a ton in them.
Because the climax is him walking out and stopping bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
always baffled me, like, the real end of the movie is that, he can read the code, like, where he's standing, and then he can also just take off and fly like Superman, but he feels like he doesn't have those powers when he starts out in Reloaded.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's literally been really a long time since I've seen any of them.
Yeah.
I think the first one, because like I said, because all those dialogue scenes, it helps enhance the action. In the second one, I feel like one of the issues is that the balance of action and dialogue is off. And then the third one is mostly action and very little explanation. So it seems like the balance is off in the two sequels.
Yeah.
So.
And then also, because it's 4K, the opening scene where Trinity is running across the rooftops to do that, the jump that you see and everything, you can see the city backdrop is just a painted backdrop.
Oh.
So that's kind of
jarring.
Yeah. Like, they do that in the Ninja Turtles movie for that climactic scene. Got to rewatch Terminator 2 at midnight with Zach. That movie's great. I don't have to talk much more about that.
Eddie Furlong still bothers me, but whatever.
But it's weird that
he's fine. It's just there's some stuff he does.
Actually, I think the part in that movie that is the most jarring is at the end where they defeat the T-1000 and he says, "I need a vacation."
Yeah.
It's funny, but it doesn't really fit the movie.
Yeah, because he goes, it's like a 180 from like, I don't understand human, like, colloquialisms or whatever you call that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the scene that's always bothered me, only because I don't understand why he does it. I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it, is when the T-1000, he finds out that the T-800 has to do anything he says, right? And then those two guys come to help him, and he says, "Get away, bozo." And I'm like, those guys were there to help you, idiot. And he says, "Did you call moi a dipshit?" I know it's to set up that he'll do whatever he asks him, but it just sets it up for me. Like, I don't really like John Connor right now.
Oh, fuck you. She's a priority to me.
Yeah. I love Linda Hamilton in the rewatch, though. I cannot wait for Dark Fate. They showed the Dark Fate trailer right before, and I'm like, I'm excited for Dark Fate.
No, I am.
Yeah.
It looks good to me.
Yeah. And Tim Miller's a really good director. So
it was weird. They presented like the 3D version, so it was all labeled with like, this is the 3D version, but it wasn't actually even distorted in 3D. So I'm not sure why.
It's just that was
branding's on it.
That was the 2D version of the 3D re-release that they did, because they still did 2D shows for it. So that's why you get that. But
I don't know why you needed it on both, but yeah, you just not have it.
Because Jim Cameron wants to promote 3D.
And also, I didn't realize like there seems to be a lot of nostalgia for the Guns N' Roses song in the movie, because I've been hearing a lot about it in social media lately, and obviously they played the music video ahead of the movie.
And obviously I have my fan club for it.
But like it's I never remember that being like a big part of that movie.
No, it's only playing when he's riding in the motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean,
and the
you
credits.
even have to remind me. I can't even place it.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's something like this resurgence of it. I'm like, where'd that come from?
It's just a really good song that ties in well to the movie. Somehow.
It's not even like their best song.
No, it's not, but
okay, and then the last two main things, I watched Midsummer, which is interesting. It's a very artfully interesting movie, but the story I just didn't get into.
I saw it was like 2.5 hours. I'm like, that's a long movie.
Oh, just wait. You're going to get a 3-hour cut later in the year.
Yeah, apparently there's some like really disturbing, like shocking visuals in it, which are great. But the main characters I didn't.
It's hard for me to get excited
care
for the
about
film because
that
I
much.
didn't care for Hereditary. So it's hard for me to get excited for that one.
Yeah, I didn't see Hereditary, so I have nothing to go off of. Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't like Hereditary, I don't know how you're going to feel about this one. Yeah. It's different than Hereditary.
I'll wait till it's streaming on Prime.
Yeah, that's probably worth it.
Yeah, I know there's something deeper going on with the main girl, like, and her sort of psychologically abusive boyfriend. But at the same time, like, you're spending so much time just watching these Swedish people be weird that you're like, it feels like that's overshadowing her story.
Donut.
And then I also watched the Art of Self-Defense, which I thought was pretty fun. It's definitely a dark comedy, but there's like some really funny parts in it. Jesse Eisenberg is this wimpy guy, who seeks out karate to make himself stronger. But
I was thinking about seeing that when I leave here.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Obviously has a lot to say about toxic masculinity.
Yeah, which is a great part of the film that I enjoyed because I also saw it.
But the parts I just enjoyed the most were just how like weird and shocking some parts are, like when that one dude breaks his arm.
Yeah, that was really well timed, like well shot. It was really good.
But there's some aspects of it that I like see coming a mile away. Then I'm just like, oh, okay.
I feel like the film has a balance issue to a certain degree by the third act, but it's still like an interesting comedy, and it's got a lot of very funny moments in it, and Eisenberg's great in it. I haven't watched him in a movie since Batman v Superman, I think. So
Justice League.
Well, it's
credits.
one scene. Come on. And it's at the end of the credits, and I was angry at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the dialogue is pretty sharp. And different. So it's definitely got a strange tone, kind of close to like a Napoleon Dynamite, but sadistic and dark.
It's like if Napoleon Dynamite and Fight Club had a weird baby.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're getting here. And Imogen Poots is really good in the movie, too.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic in it. And the guy who's playing the dojo is giving a really good villainous performance and stuff. So it's very...
He was in Neon Demon.
Yeah. Wait, who did he play in Neon Demon?
Like the one like producer guy at the Musso and Frank's.
Okay, that's right. But yeah, no, it's an interesting flick. Apparently, this is not the first film the guy's made, so I'd be down to see it again.
Yeah, I saw his other one. What was it called? Dang it. Anyway, that's all I watched.
Zach?
Well, I saw Art of Self-Defense with him. So you already know what I think about that. I saw Midsummer, and I really liked it. I think I like it more than Hereditary. And I like the fact that it's just one big long breakup movie. It's a very interesting breakup movie. Florence Pugh's great in it. I between this and Fighting with My Family, like I'm excited that she's, getting out there. And I like how they do horror in the daytime, and it's mainly, I guess, because I don't see a lot of films that do that. Like, this film kind of feels like The Wicker Man in certain respects, the way they do it. My issue with the film is that it has the problem of drawing itself out too much, and like Hereditary, it takes its time, but within this one, I think it revels in different areas, and I need to rewatch it because I want to see how certain things are paced out, but I could feel the length, but that didn't take away my enjoyment of it. And I would love to see the 3-hour cut because I want to see what the hell he had to take out. If it was a matter of being an NC-17, I think I know exactly what he had to take out.
That part was confusing.
Yeah, but the ending is brutal and bleak but satisfying, especially if you're following through Florence Pugh's shoes in the movie, and it being a breakup movie.
I don't know. The director sounds like he's too full of himself.
Yeah, he's got.
I've watched Hereditary and I've read interviews with him, and I go, "Really, dude? You're making horror films. You don't have to."
The imagery in it is like it's graphic, which is cool for this stuff I haven't seen before in a lot of other horror movies.
It's a problem I have with The Shining, where just because you make a shot film or you're trying to say something else doesn't mean it's great. Because Hereditary has parts where like kids' heads get chopped off and things like that, and I was like, meh.
It's not everybody's cup of tea. That's why I'm saying you may want to wait for Midsummer on Prime.
But it's one of those things too where people think The Shining, that you tell me it's a great horror film, and I go, it's not. It's not my cup of tea, but everybody else likes it, so who cares what I think?
Yeah. I mean,
Hereditary sucks ass.
At the end of the day, though, being a horror fan, you might want to check it out at some point. And the cult element of it is interesting because, unlike most cult movies, this deals with the whole thing of they have to observe their culture with respect because they're students studying this solstice proceedings. So there's a kind of element to it where they're not wanting to stop it because they want to observe it, and at the end it becomes their own demise. I would check it out if you're into Ari Aster's thing that he's doing, which I am. So.
I'm not, so you can check it out for me.
Oh yeah, well I did, and it was,
Thank you.
and it was good. You won't like it, but it was good. I rewatched Galaxy Quest after Film Explosion '99, and that movie's fucking awesome as always.
I forgot to write it down.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I liked rewatching it. I hadn't watched it on a 4K TV, and the makeup of the villains in the film still looks incredible. The rock monster and the little aliens on the planet obviously don't hold up as much, but I'm not expecting it to. And I really liked Tim Allen in the movie. Again, that's one of my favorite performances of his because he's kind of doing the Shatner blowhard actor thing. So
yeah, the Blu-ray has a lot of good special features on it too, because they do it's not special features from 1999. They've got everyone back to revisit what they liked about the movie, and so that's pretty cool. And then there's a steelbook on at Best Buy coming out soon of it.
Really?
So
sweet.
Wish it was 4K.
I guess 20th anniversary. I'm like,
yeah.
Why would that come out right now? Such a fucking idiot sometimes.
And then I got a Criterion called Vampire, directed by Carl.
Is it just Vampire?
No, it's Vampire. Because there's a Y in there. You see,
but why vampire?
You don't worry about it, Danny. You ask too many questions.
Danny Y-E Vampire. Okay.
But it was a film from 1932 by Carl Theodor Dreyer, who did Passion of Joan of Arc and other films of the era that Criterion has obviously latched onto. It's a vampire film. It's one of the earliest horror films made, and it's made in Swedish for French and German distribution. Ryan, you've seen Nosferatu and you've seen Bela Lugosi's Dracula, right?
Oh yeah.
So, but you haven't seen Vampire yet. So I would say that Vampire is the most realistic vampire movie in terms of the beginning, like the first one's made. When I say that is that it's like so contained and insular. There doesn't feel like there's a mythology there whatsoever, even though the basic story is a guy who is steeped in folklore and kind of like these myths of the past and the legends of vampires and demons and stuff. This is this small town, and he comes upon a vampire legend that's in that town. It's partially silent and part sound because it was a film that was made during the transition from silent to sound cinema. So there's very little dialogue. So it's mainly told through the visual element, that pure cinema thing. I think it's really good. It's not my favorite vampire movie of like the earlier years because I still think Nosferatu is really good to watch, and I think Dracula from 31 is obviously like the creme de la creme because Bela Lugosi. But this is one worth watching. It's not that long. It's about an hour and 17 minutes. And there's some unique visuals being done for the period. This was like a big restoration by Criterion because there was a lot of shit missing and a lot of stuff had decayed. So they had to like some of the title stuff they had to recreate digitally, and you could not tell the difference. One of the things is there was an English language title card version that they had to redo completely because they couldn't find prints of it. So that's one that's only $40 that I got for the half off. That comes complete with the script and everything. It's fantastic. So I would check that out. I did movie theater day. So I saw 4 movies in a single day. First up is Crawl. Crawl is awesome. I liked Crawl a lot.
Saw that one as well.
Oh, were you going to talk? Shoot, sorry.
No, it's all right.
I should have done that one last.
It's okay, Zach. You fucking asshole.
How dare you talk about the Gator movie without me?
I talk about an alligator movie that I saw during a matinee.
I love how, going back to the contained thing, I love how small this film is. It's like it's in the house. It's like a Sam Raimi Evil Dead movie, but with gators and hurricanes. And Barry Pepper's really good in it. The lead gal, Kaya Scofa something, I can't remember her name. She's wonderful. The gators, I like. Obviously, there's CGI in there, but it feels like there's some practical stuff going on in there that I can't like pinpoint. Like certain close-ups, maybe something's going on. But Alexandre Aja is really good with frickin' sea movies, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's good at. I think he's great at directing suspense.
Oh yeah.
I think his Hills Have Eyes, if you can stomach that film, is pretty well made.
It's a really good remake.
I mean, it's brutal, and you have to have the right mindset to watch it.
Have you seen How Tension, his French
Yeah.
film? Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, my wife likes that one a little more than I do, but I mean, he knows how to direct suspense.
Yeah.
And he knows how to build tension. I mean, in Hills Have Eyes, when the mutants first come to the trailer, I think is pretty effective.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, when you're dealing with crocodiles alligators that attack people, like this is hokey, but there's a couple shots. I think the looters in the convenience store are shot really well.
Yeah.
And he uses sound really well. The sound design in that movie is really great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps the sound design and things like that with Sam Raimi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of a hands-on producer he is, but you can see Raimi's influence in it through sound design. Yep. I think. Because I think that's one of his most forgotten trademarks in his films, whether it's the Evil Dead films or even in Spider-Man. His sound design in his films is really great, and I think that translates really well in Crawl. And it's a movie that's fun. I mean,
it's a 90-minute roller coaster ride in a house that's about to be flooded.
And what's cool, it's violent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't pull punches. That's the one thing with these shark movies that have been coming out lately. They're PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can't we just see monsters eat something? I mean, that's what I want.
Yeah, dude. Oh, friggin' Barry Pepper gets an arm ripped off.
Yeah, and I mean, Barry Pepper's actually good too.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. He's wonderful. Like I say, like it's a fun movie. And then I saw The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is a lovely, lovely film that I can't believe I missed when it came to the Alamo. It's about 2 friends who are trying to fix up one of the guy's grandfather's house that he built during World War II because he didn't want to take a home away from an interred Japanese person. And the film's essentially about how these people are trying to still live in the city of San Francisco despite the gentrification going around. And Danny, like basically, like they don't really live in the house; they're squatting in it because the actual owners of the house, who got it after they lost it, are in a dispute where they have to leave the house, so it's open. And they refix it up. They fill it with the furniture that used to be in there. So it's one of these films that's about like just kind of like how a city kind of changes and the people that get left behind. And it's not, I thought it was going to be about one certain thing and it ended up being about a completely other thing. It's actually a movie about friendship. And it's beautifully told. It's like a wonderful visceral poem that really talks about an issue without like shoving one particular thing down your throat, in my opinion. Danny Glover plays a small role in it and he's really good. Mike Epps is in the movie and he's really good. You have Thora Birch has
that name in a while.
I know. I saw him on screen and I was like, Mike Epps is in this movie. And I saw it with Bueno and we both giggled at each other because we were just like, Mike Epps is in a movie again. So it's a wonderful film. If you can find it, I would check it out. And then I saw The Spy Behind Home Plate, which is a movie that I think everybody will love. It's about the catcher Mo Berg. He played professional baseball for Cleveland and a couple other teams, but he was also a spy during World War II, and was actually responsible for getting one of the scientists out that ended up helping build the bomb. And his stuff was declassified. Now, it's not the best made documentary in the world. Like, cinematically, it's a little off, and it's a little too packed with information, but if you pay attention, you get the story. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice, quiet afternoon film. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I would definitely check that out. And yeah, that's all I watched this week.
Awesome. So I've been gone for a few weeks, so I'm going to go in order. So it's going to how I watched them. Mm-hmm. So I do my activity on my letterbox, so I don't lose track.
Yeah, I just read you were busy saving babies and becoming a detective.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, I don't like to brag, but I did save a baby's life this week, and I was promoted to detective, kind of.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I think I got to take a test or something. But
do I call you Detective Frost now?
I am Detective Frost now.
Do you have a secretary and solve mysteries in a building? Are you Sam Spade? That's all I want to know.
No, but I did. A baby was choking on the side of the highway, and
by itself.
No, the parents called. Yeah, he called 911 too. We got a call for 911, and obviously I was actually having. I was having lunch with our records clerk, and it's funny beforehand because before we left, she said, "Well, what if you get a call?" I said, "Well, I guess you're coming with me." And so I was having lunch, and the call came out that there is a choking. They didn't say it was a child. It was weird. They said there was a choking on the side of the highway, and so I'm hauling ass there. And
I mean, that could mean. Like in your head, you could think like, "Oh, two people are choking each other."
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually, well, if they page medical, it's probably like someone actually choking on something. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, I get there and they're in there's a chain up station for semis, and when I get there, I'm looking. I'm like, oh my god, it's a fucking like baby, 7-month-old baby.
Wow.
And so I throw my car in park and I get out and I run up. And the mom is doing the right thing. So if a baby's choking, you hold it kind of like slanted down on your knee and you hit its back. Mm-hmm. However, when it's your own child, sometimes you're not going to do it with the proper amount of force. Uh-huh. So I saw what she was doing. So I said, "Hey, let me see him real fast." And she says, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, let me see him." So I grabbed him and I kind of turned him upside down and I squeezed him, and it went poo! This piece of apple that was huge. Mm. And the mom called me Super Cop. The grandmother called me her guardian angel, and they both hugged me.
And the baby called you Batman.
and the baby went, "Goo goo gaga, I want to go home with you," because my dad stood around and did nothing. But no, I get it. So whenever you're confronted with something, it's my job to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can separate the two. However, when you're done, you realize, I mean, it was a chunk of apple, and like the baby had blood coming out. I mean, it was intense.
Why would they have an apple that young? Like, was it like it wasn't mashed up, right?
No, I was like, I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah,
I
know.
I just save lives, okay? I don't know. But no, I don't like brag about doing my job. It's what I do.
So if I'm choking, I call you, right?
Well, I have saved 2 people through CPR. Now I've saved someone, a baby.
Officer Frost, some guy named Zach Eastman's choking. You need your help? Nope, not available.
But I have been having fun going around saying, not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes we're all called to action. And but yeah, no, it's the part of the job that I do that I don't really talk about because I don't know how to handle that stuff. If that makes any sense. I don't know what to do with it because I mean I did CPR on one lady who was dead for 4 minutes and she came back to life. I can't believe I never told you this. This was like 2 years ago.
You're like Nicolas Cage in Bringing Out the Dead.
Yeah. Get back to movies in a second. We got a call for an unresponsive female. And I went to her apartment, and I don't know if you've ever seen Dead People, but they have a very specific look to them. And this lady's face was blue and purple, and their eyes have this like cloudy grayness to them. And I look at her, and she's in. Her kids are with her. And again, I can do things that other people can't. I mean, I don't know if people can do CPR on their own mother. I would, but I've seen way worse. So she's lying on the floor. And I check it. She doesn't even have a pulse, no heartbeat. So I do CPR on her for 4 minutes. And the medics, when they got this is a crazy story. So I'm doing CPR on her, and I can hear the medics. Obviously, I can hear them in the radio, and I can hear them coming in. And I'll never forget. So I'm doing compressions, and I didn't think I could save her because she's not responding at all. And so I'm just doing compressions, and the medics walk in, and this is the crazy part. As soon as the medics walk in, she goes, and so she like pops out of it, and then they started like hooking her up to a monitor and like fluids, and she just started coming back.
She didn't lose any like brain activity or
no.
anything like
So
that?
she went. We called Flight for Life, and by the time she got to where the helicopter landed at the baseball fields in Idaho Springs, she was talking normal.
Ooh.
And so she went to the hospital, and her doctor said he doesn't know. She was dead for 4 minutes. I guess 6 minutes is, I don't know. I
think it's like 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not a medical person. I don't know. But he told her if I didn't start doing CPR as fast as I did, she'd be dead. And, but yeah, she started talking normal. She was out in 2 days. And she got a tattoo of, I don't know, the heartbeat monitor shit.
The flatline.
Yeah, the
but
EKG.
Not flat, yeah, EKG.
Yeah.
So she got that with a date on it, and she calls me her angel as well.
And then she called you later and said, I talked to a ghost.
So yeah, I mean, I do stuff like that.
Dude,
I
badass.
don't really talk about it, but
You're right. Cary Grant is the best actor. You know why? Because you're a fucking hero.
We just need to do an entirely separate other podcast of like all your police stories.
yeah, I do have a lot of them.
Files from Police Squad.
I mean, I've done that twice with CPR. This guy had a heart attack, and so you usually don't have that kind of success with CPR because once you're doing that,
Why did she pass out?
They don't know. So her heart stopped and everything. She thinks she was a nurse or helped elderly people in hospice. She thinks she drank too many energy drinks because she doesn't know and the doctors don't know. So yeah, I mean, I stopped a girl from jumping in front of a semi one time.
You remember that one?
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't.
It's just reminded of role models where they have the energy drink taste the beast or whatever it is. Yeah. She tasted the beast one too many times.
Exactly. And so yeah, they don't know. It's weird. The baby, yeah. So that's what I do.
And that little boy that Brian saved grew up to be.
Sorry, what'd you watch this week?
Hang on. The chief. So to get promoted, you have to get approved through City Hall because I'm a government employee. So it comes with a raise.
Okay, now you're bragging.
Yeah. No, it's pretty. So that has to be approved through City Hall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a good week at work. Because when you're a cop, you see people always at their worst, and I try to tell this to people whenever I arrest them or whatever. Every day's a new day. So I live in a small town and I police a small town. So we might have problems today, but doesn't mean we'll have problems tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I also tell everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So no matter what I do or where we go from here, you have your day in court. Say what you have to say. I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
And you have a right as a United States citizen, and the Constitution affords us this right that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So I always try to look at it that way. And yeah, it makes up for all the times that I have to deal with people calling me names, people not liking me, being cussed at, being just berated.
Oh.
So, when you save a baby's life, it makes it worth it because that's what I really do it for. I do it to
till that baby grows up to be a criminal.
Yeah, then fuck that kid. Anyways, back to what I actually did this other things I did. So I watched Cary Grant's first movie called This Is the Night. In it, he plays an Olympic javelin guy. He comes back and finds his wife is having an affair with somebody else.
And he's barely in the movie.
Yeah, he's barely in the movie. He has some okay moments, but it's not a Cary Grant movie. And is that this sometimes when they do in Hollywood where it's like a really old dude and the female is like 22 and he's like 60.
It's almost like it hasn't changed at all.
No.
But it's different now, but it's really bad back
yeah,
then.
and I mean the movie is okay. It's not that funny, and they have there's some weird musical numbers in it. I can't describe the film. It's probably my least favorite Cary Grant film, and I'm judging it on being a Cary Grant film. The movie is still entertaining. The one thing I do like about the pre-code films is they're like an hour and 10 minutes long each.
Yeah.
So that's why I've watched a lot because I can burn through them really fast.
Yeah.
And they're entertaining enough where, it's a... And pre-code is, risque. You see, like, girls' legs and their shoulders. And, yeah.
Sometimes you saw nip, but not that much.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it. Yeah, I have seen a few where they change behind, like, what did they call the foldy things from the early days?
Oh,
whatever.
A curtain.
So they
something screen.
Yeah, something I can't remember. So I watched
screen?
that. I might be right. Yeah. But he's okay in it. He's not given a lot to do. A lot of early Cary Grant stuff. He's always the dude in the tux who has his hands in his pockets. It exists.
It's a comedy, right?
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
there's some funny
that's
moments in it.
That's why it's got musical numbers.
Yeah.
in it. That's what they did.
Because it starts with what scans where her dress gets caught in a car door and the car drives away, so she goes down to her bloomers.
Oh my!
And so it's like the song is like she got caught, her dress got caught in the door or something, and that keeps on it keeps repeating throughout the film because she keeps on getting her dress ripped off.
Oh, she got her dress caught in the door.
It's basically what it is, and everybody's singing. It's all right. I watched Annabelle Comes Home. Its atmosphere is really good. I think the movie is suspenseful. I never get why no one really dies in the Annabelle films. It's all just, here's a scary doll.
Wait, Creation had a death or two.
Yeah,
right?
it did.
Yeah.
In this one, I don't remember anybody dying.
No, but that's not the point. The point is we've got to clean up the house before Mom and Dad get home.
Yeah.
That's the point of the movie.
I watched Homeward Bound with my son. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It's all right.
Starring Don Amici as a dog.
I still like the stuffed mountain lion that gets launched into the water. It looks so fake. It made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen really likes it. Spider-Man Far From Home is fucking amazing. There's so many layers to that film that when I watched it, the Spider-Man fan in me gets giddy. When Spider-Man's fighting in the carnival or the light festival, and he shoots his webbing and he hits the hologram projector, even though you already know Mysterio's going to be a bad guy, that it hits a hologram projector, I'm like, he is a bad guy.
The way they do Mysterio's costume by the end of the film is pretty awesome, where it's like it's the Mysterio costume but like in just tech form.
Yeah, and there's and Spider-Man goes through and he punches him.
Mm-hmm.
That's directly a panel from a comic. When Spider-Man is going through the illusion, there's John Romita callbacks from Amazing Spider-Man 66.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the journey of Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is really cool to me. He's losing father figures left and right, and then I love. I'm sure everyone else caught this, but I love the hidden. I don't know what you call it, but when he comes back from his trip and his aunt asks him where his luggage is, he's like, "Oh, it blew up." So he lost all his baggage. He lost his Uncle Ben. And all that stuff, so his baggage is left behind. Because he thinks he can be okay. And I think Mysterio is such a cool cinematic villain. That works really well.
He might be one of my favorite villains, other than Killmonger and Black Panther.
Yeah, because he's just and his backstory, weaving him into Tony Stark, is pretty great. Because Quentin Beck's not even his name. I think they allude to because he created Quentin Beck as well.
Is that his name in the comics?
Yeah, so that's Mysterio's name in the comics, but I don't think that's the real name of the guy who's Mysterio
In the movie.
Yeah,
And they brought back Ralphie from Christmas Story.
they brought back Ralph, and yeah, so it was cool bringing back those characters. I never thought I would see Mysterio in a movie, let alone him having a comic book costume. And I mean, Tom Holland as Spider-Man and Peter Parker is great. The story with him and MJ is awesome. I mean, it's hard for me to be subjective to Spider-Man because I just love the character so much. And they'd really have to screw him up pretty bad for me to be like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
I love Jon Favreau in that movie a lot.
And Jon Favreau is great. The whole movie is great.
I'm in love with Spider-Man's aunt. What I thought we were sharing.
And I mean, that's a really funny part too. At the end, he's like, "What's going on?" And his Aunt May says, "Oh, it's just a summer fling." and
He thinks they're dating.
Yeah, it's great. And even Spider-Man does the like Iron Man dip hand in to make it's moments like that I just love.
And he's the AC/DC.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Just fun things.
And then, of course, the return of Raimi Spider-Man character.
Oh yeah. When I saw that the first time with an Alamo for All, and people were like, "Oh!" And I went a couple nights later in IMAX, and it was pretty full, and people were cheering. And I knew that character resonated, J. Jonah Jameson, and to recast him as not a newspaper guy, but an Alex Jones kind of guy, makes perfect sense. And and then the reveal of Mysterio telling the world who Spider-Man is pretty great.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, in the very end, you have scrolls. I'm like, wow, they're just... Because the last, Homecoming really didn't set up other films. But this one is saying, oh, well, here's the next phase.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was awesome. And I'll probably see it one more time.
Wait,
Just
one
one
more time?
Okay, well.
How's it in IMAX?
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
IMAX 3D?
No, it's not 3D. Weird, right? So when I saw Alamo for All, and they turn the sound down, and they leave the lights on. And I mean, it's still an awesome movie. So when I went to IMAX, I could feel the music, and it's a way cooler experience.
Yeah, the choreography of that whole bridge scene too is just spectacular.
I mean, yeah, and him using the Peter tingle is great.
Do you think that'll replace Spider Sense in the vernacular?
No, I think it's just
Spider Sense is like that's had 40 years to get itself in there.
Yeah,
man.
I hope. And so, yeah, I mean, I love the film, and
I think it's my second favorite Spider-Man movie, just because like that plot is so well. But I mean, this is me talking.
Yeah,
so.
I'll always. It's hard for me because I like the character so much. Nothing will ever replace the first Spider-Man film experience to me.
That's still my favorite. Yeah.
But I think Spider-Man 2 is the greatest superhero film of all time. So it's hard for me to explain. I just love Spider-Man. I saw Monkey Business with Cary Grant and Marilyn Monroe. The movie it's funny. It's Cary Grant is a absent-minded professor who's trying to create a potion to make people younger, and all it does is make Cary Grant get like a high and tight haircut, buy a sports car, and take Marilyn Monroe out for dinner.
Where can I get that potion?
No doubt. It's actually a pretty funny, cute movie. Cary Grant as a 20-year-old, and Marilyn Monroe. The thing with Marilyn Monroe is she could play the bombshell so well, the ditzy, but I'm still funny.
She knew her character and she did it well.
Yeah.
It's a shame by the end of her life, though, she was trying to branch out, but she had that drug addiction, man.
Yeah, and Monkey Business is actually a really fun, cute movie.
That's actually the name of a Marx Brothers movie too. So when I first saw Monkey Business, that Cary Grant movie, I got it under the auspices that I was getting a Marx Brothers movie, so I was very disappointed.
And it's called Monkey Business because they do tests on monkeys or chimpanzees. You would never do that now. But so Cary Grant is trying to figure out this youth potion, and so he leaves his lab, and the monkey gets out and mixes it for him. So that's pretty funny. And he puts it in like the water cooler, so everybody who drinks it comes 20. It's silly, but it's fun.
It's a fun flick.
One that's actually the film that kind of got him going is called Topper, and he plays him and his wife are we're the fun-loving drunk people that pass out in our car, and I have to go to my board meeting. And he gets in a car accident with his wife, and they become ghosts. And they realize it's kind of like Heart and Souls, where they can't go to heaven until they help somebody.
So Beetlejuice?
or Beetlejuice. So they can't transcend until they help somebody. So they haunt this guy named Topper, and because he's boring and he should be more fun, and so they try to introduce it. And then Cary Grant, so he did this before The Awful Truth or right after. I can't remember.
It's
right
before,
now.
yeah.
So it's before, and he's really honing in his comedic skills in these films, and he's fantastic in it.
I'm surprised it took you this long to get to Topper. Topper's a really good flick.
Well, Topper was a hard Blu-ray to track down.
Yeah.
So I waited because it's by VCI. I don't even know who that company is.
It's a company that I don't know, but they got it.
Yeah. So it was always $25, which is kind of expensive. And then I waited and I kept on checking Amazon like once or twice a week, and I finally found it new for like $16. So
how was the transfer?
It's actually pretty good. I mean, it comes with a trailer and the transfer, so it's pretty good.
They keep saying restored and whatnot, and I'm just like, I don't know this company, so I don't know.
I mean, I'll let you borrow if you want to check it out.
I would, because I haven't seen Topper in a while. So
I watched She Done Him Wrong, which is Mae West. I think it's her first film, or her first film being Mae West, if that makes sense.
I think that's the one you're looking for, sweetheart.
Yeah. So the movie is pretty fun. In it, Cary Grant's not in it too much, but I was reading that he kind of got pissed because she said that she discovered him and he's already made films before this, and so she took credit that if he can talk, I'll put him in my next movie, or however she says. So it's funny because She Done Him Wrong is a really risque movie, and it seems every line is to set up a Mae West counter line. There's a part where she walks through like prison, and she goes by every cell, and everybody knows her. And so they go, "Hey, baby, what's shaking? Oh, honey, why don't you come up to my room and you can find out." Stuff like that.
Come on up and see me sometime.
Yeah, so that's like one of her most famous lines, saying that to Cary Grant.
Yeah. Either that or W.C. Fields, and they also famously didn't get along either. So
yeah,
it's almost as if though Mae West was a very difficult person.
Yeah. I watched biography, Chris Farley, Anything for a Laugh, which isn't quite as good as
I
the
Am
Chris Farley
Farley
show, or I Am Chris Farley.
Yeah.
The I Am Chris Farley is a little more intimate. This one's more of a biography of his life. However, it tugs at your heartstrings when John Goodman talks about Chris Farley and his addiction, and he can't finish the interview. Is pretty interesting. So that's, it's funny too, and it's sad. I rewatched Silent Hill, which is a horror film from 2006. Story's garbage, but the visuals are really great.
It's based on the video game?
Yeah.
Did you get the Scream?
I did.
Oh.
Some of the CGI doesn't hold up as well, but some of it does. The dialogue is garbage, and it's also over 2 hours long. I think it's a little too long. But the imagery is really well done, and I think that's the most important thing in a Silent Hill, whatever. So the Scream Factory does it really well. If you want to pick up, it's a 2-disc. It has lots of interviews on it. It's a really well-made disc. I'll get back to doing Scream Factory Crypt, I promise. The second Mae West Cary Grant film, I'm No Angel, I actually liked more. In it, she is a circus lion tamer, and Cary Grant is a guy who's trying to marry her, but then he gets upset because she has a lot of gentleman friends. And then
again, it's a Mae West movie.
Yeah. So back then, I guess you could sue somebody for breaking off an engagement.
Yeah.
So he sues her.
Breach of promise.
Yeah. And so they go to trial, and so she's having all these guys come out. She's like, "No, I was faithful to you," and it's really well done. And then Cary Grant has this great moment where he says, "You're not going to ask her these questions about it because it's not fair to her." And I thought it was a lot better. It seems like she's still the same character, but she honed it a little better. It's the second movie that year that they did together. It's just a little more tight and concise.
She does get better as she goes along.
Yeah. My favorite film I watched these last couple weeks is a Cary Grant film called The Eagle and the Hawk, which we already mentioned. Frederick March. In it, it's a World War II fighter pilot movie. And so it's called The Eagle and the Hawk because one guy's the gunner and one guy's the pilot. So the one guy is watching, and I think they call him the observer in the film. And Cary Grant is a cocky observer, and his rival is the best pilot that the British have. And
he's almost like a British Tom Cruise.
Yes. They don't like each other, and so it starts off as a rivalry and like Rush, and And Cary Grant goes away for a little bit, and then it just focuses. I can't remember the pilot's the character that he plays. I can just look it up right now. I'm literally looking at it. So Frederick March plays. Jerry Young, and for about 20 minutes he keeps on losing his observers. They keep on dying in the war, and he starts suffering from PTSD. And then Cary Grant, who plays Crocker, shows up, and he's the best observer there is. And they don't get along. And, he's like, what are you always crying about? We got to go out there and kill bad guys. And it's a really great film. It delves in. I've never seen a film this old. I think it's from 34, 35. It deals with PTSD and the effect war has on people. So Frederick March's character, Pilot Young, they go to this scene where him and Cary Grant are in the plane and they shoot down a blimp. And so the Germans jump out. And Cary Grant kills them while they're parachuting down. And March's character has a problem with that, and they get in a fight. And he's like, you don't just kill people because you don't like them. And he's like, well, they're the bad guy, aren't they? What if they come back? It's a really intense moment. And Young gets all these medals for his bravery. And then he goes up, and he doesn't want to deal with Cary Grant's character anymore because he's a hothead. And he picks this 19-year-old kid to be his observer. They go up, and the kid gets killed. And so Young gets pissed, and he follows the guy who killed him, and he kills the other pilot. And he comes down, and they land, and they find out the other pilot's a kid too. And he's like, man, I'm just killing kids is what I'm doing. I'm killing kids. And I'll spoil an 86-year-old movie for you. So they have this big toast, and he gets another medal. And
he gets another medal.
Yeah. So throughout the whole film, though, Crocker and Young are telling each other that they're the best. They have this. They hate each other, but they know that they're the best at what they do. And so
like that frustrated admiration.
Exactly.
Thing, yeah.
So they have this dinner. Young gets up and excuses himself, and Crocker's looking for him, and he goes to the barracks where the kid's bed is, and they fold it all up because they also have scenes where, well, one guy dies, let's get his stuff out of here, we got to put the new guy. It's really fascinating. And Young grabs a gun and kills himself. So Cary Grant goes in there, Crocker, and sees this. He cleans him up, puts him in bed. He says, oh, he's already in bed, sir. And then he puts him in a plane early in the morning, and they go flying, and he says he died in battle. So I'm like, wow, this is a fucking deep movie.
Well, this is on DVD, right?
Yes. So it's part of the TCM hard to find stuff, but I got it in the Cary Grant Vault collection.
I may have to borrow this one.
You should.
Or I may be able to find it too, but
it's so it's like $20 by itself. I'll let you borrow it.
Yeah, I want to see this one because there are not a lot of films from that era that tackle PTSD in a way and believe me, I wouldn't have been able to identify this say 10 years ago, but in recent years I've started seeing how films do it, and I don't think I can think of one off the top of my head that does it well from before 1960.
Yeah, it's a great film. It's one that I told you I didn't make my top 10 Cary Grant films. I think that's really hard to get into there, but it's probably one of the highest rated ones I've done in a while. Me personally, and it's really well made.
Yeah,
it's sad, and it's heart wrenching, and you're like, wow, this is a deep subject matter, and everybody should see The Eagle and the Hawk. So just two more. Madam Butterfly is a really tough one to watch because it's all white people playing Orientals, and they
canceled,
and they don't. It's not as bad as Breakfast at Tiffany's, but they'll say stuff like, "Okay, I'll go get this for you right now," and you go, "Wow." But the story is interesting. It's about a geisha girl who their husbands are picked for them, and she's supposed to be married to this guy, I forget, but the guy who runs it, his name's Goro, like Mortal Kombat. I'm like, sweet. Yeah. And so she's supposed to marry this one guy, but Cary Grant is on shore leave.
She doesn't want to because he has 4 arms.
Totally. He's on shore leave from the Navy. And so his friend says, well, yeah, you just marry him, and then when you leave, you divorce him, and they don't care in this culture. So Cary Grant marries this girl, and he has fun, and he ends up really loving her and kind of falling in love with her. but he doesn't have the heart to tell her that he's going to leave. Mm-hmm. And he also has a fiance in San Francisco. So he leaves and says, I'll be back. And he never comes back. And they show him getting married to his girlfriend in San Francisco. And it's also like a really famous opera. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering if this was the same thing because there's some later Jack Benny episodes where they have one of the stars of the Metropolitan Opera who was doing Madame Butterfly at the time.
Yeah. So here's more spoilers. So he eventually does come back to Japan, and you find out that he has a kid with this girl, and that she never tells him about because she's like the dutiful wife.
Oh, that's. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a still frame of that. That's bad.
Yeah. So I mean, her name's like Sylvia something. So he goes and sees her, and he says, "I'm not coming back," and so she never tells him that she has a boy. She sends the boy off to live with her grandparents, and she kills herself because she can't love him. I'm like, whoa. All right. It's all right.
It's pretty operatic.
Yeah, it's a very interesting film. And the last one I watched was The Woman Accused. Cary Grant plays a guy who is marrying this woman, and her ex-boyfriend is like a mobster. Mm-hmm. And she calls. So Cary Grant says, "We're going on a cruise, baby, and pack your baggage." And so he leaves for a little bit, and her old lover comes back from Italy, and he moves to the penthouse above her. So she goes to see him, and he makes a move on her, and she hits him with like a marble statue, and it kills him. So she like runs down and tells her maid. So the maid runs up and cleans it up, so you can't tell that she was there. Mm-hmm. And they go on a cruise together, and one of his friends is trying to get a confession from her. And they introduce this character. What's his name? I forget. He's like a hitman for the mafia, and he'll kill people. And he was supposed to kill Cary Grant's character. Mm-hmm. And they have this big meeting at the end of the movie inside the DA's office. And he says, "Who's this guy? He doesn't look like a professional to me." And Cary Grant pulls the gun out of him. He says, "What kind of guy carries a gun?" And he says, "You never know who you're going to meet, like a real like shyster."
Yeah.
And, so that guy leaves, and they're debating if they're going to charge her with murder because, she killed this guy. So Cary Grant convinces the DA. He says, "You know what? I'm going to go get you the evidence that you need because I know that the henchman guy is lying." So in total non-Cary Grant style, he shows up at this dude's apartment, and he says, "You know you weren't there. You never recognized her voice." And he says, "Yeah, what's it to ya?" Like, talking to him. Mm-hmm. And so the dude, so Cary Grant says, "You know what a rawhide is?" And the guy says, "What do you mean?" So he takes out this whip, and the guy takes a gun, and Cary Grant takes it from him and beats the shit out of him with his whip, drags him to the DA's. I was like, you tell him you don't know who he is." He's like, "Oh, I don't know who she is." And he has all these cuts all over his face. I'm like, holy shit. They show Cary Grant beating the shit out of this guy.
This is one I haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
this is one I'm going to have to check out too, yeah. Just watch him beat the shit out of somebody, apparently.
Every time I see Cary Grant beat somebody up, I'm down with it.
I mean, he's punched people, but not like full-on assault.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Lucky, he does it too. He's not really the good guy, Mr. Lucky. Mr. Lucky's a great film.
Which is the one that had Lombard in it that you were telling me about?
Oh, so that's the Eagle and the Hawk.
So Eagle and the Hawk does have Lombard. So okay, now I definitely need to watch it.
She's in it very small, though, and she has a great role, though. Mm-hmm. So she, when Young has... So the general gives him, or sergeant, or whoever gives him a break because the PTSD is bothering him. Mm-hmm. He goes to London to have a date with her.
Yeah.
So she has a very small role, but she's really good in it. Mm-hmm. And she does this scene where the way she looks at him is really great.
She's because you texted me that night, and I was just like, I saw Carole Lombard. I'm like, let me tell you the story I know. Yeah. But no, yeah, that. She's an actress that I like watching, but that must have been an early one for her.
Oh, yeah. I think so. It's 32, 33.
Yeah.
32 to 34. I can't remember.
And that might have even been pre her accident that scarred her face.
I think it was, yeah.
Because every film you see after a certain point, she has just a tiny scar on her face. It's because they did massive reconstructive surgery after a almost deadly car crash.
Yeah. So
she was a wonderful actress, though.
Yeah.
And one of our first national heroes during World War II.
Yep. Raised the most money ever for U.S. bonds.
Yep.
And then she died on the way home.
Yeah, let me know what you think of that book, by the way.
I will.
You read it,
So, that is all I watched in 3 weeks.
Did you already talk about Child's Play?
Oh, I did talk about Child's Play. I totally skipped that one. That was all right.
Yeah. I was really curious about what you thought about it, because I thought it was meh.
Yeah, it's interesting. My wife brought up a good point where Chucky's missing his soul in it. And I know that's what he's trying to do throughout the film. And I was like, oh, he kind of doesn't. I mean, Mark Hamill's portrayal is fine, but he doesn't have that personality.
I said that too. Is like you can kind of excuse his murders because it's not a person doing it.
Exactly.
It's an AI.
It's a bad code.
Yeah, and that's, my wife's point. It's interesting.
Although I will say he keeps repeating stuff back to people, and it's Mark Hamill. Maybe he's doing a trolling thing. Maybe that's the characters that it's a troll.
There's things that work in it, I think, that are pretty interesting. I think the idea is interesting.
It makes sense for modern times.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, but there is something lost.
It doesn't make sense for modern times. That's a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Yeah, but yeah, it was all right. Like, I don't think it was great. I don't think it was horrible, though.
I think there are good moments in it. I think the moment with the self-driving car at the end of that sequence when I think that's a great Chucky kill.
Sometimes I have problems with I'm in the profession. There's no cop going to show up and arrest. One, you can't arrest a child, and two, handcuff them to like a shelf.
It's a movie.
I know.
And Brian Tyree Henry is just doing the best he can because he lives with an overbearing mother.
The editing of the fight at the end was
really,
like all over the place. Like,
it was.
Like something was missing.
I agree too. It seems like, and there really wasn't that much violence in it. He didn't kill that many people.
Yeah,
the worst part was when he killed the cat.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst thing he did because the other people, fuck him. The adulterous dude and
his friends.
I liked the way that scene was shot with him getting the Christmas leads down.
Oh no, that was pretty awesome.
I don't know if the payoff's that great, but
it was fun.
I
like that he brought him a present of his severed head.
See, that's cool. And I like that the whole reason he does it is because, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. It's just like, don't throw that argument back in my face. It's lovely. That's a good moment.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
And I like Bear McCreary's score in the movie.
Yeah.
The music's great.
The music's good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll wait till it's like, $9 and I'll get it. Complete my Chucky collection.
Yeah, there you go.
This week on Real Nerds Podcast, we rewatched The Lion King. Brad, should people go see The Lion King?
Yeah, this review is going to be really short because, it's basically a photorealistic version of the animated movie. There's very little different stuff in it. So I will say it is impressive, but I think it lacks the charm of the animated version, but still visually, impressive. Just blew me away. And I saw it in 3D, so...
Oh, is it good in 3D?
Yeah, it's the 3D is pretty standard. Like, there's nothing like, oh wow, that deserves to be in 3D.
It's not like when you see Endgame and even the bow and arrow at the beginning with Hawkeye. You're like, wow, this looks amazing.
Yeah, stuff's just in 3D, but it's also a little bit fuzzier because it's in 3D. So the photorealistic stuff still was impressive despite that. So.
Nice, Zach.
It feels like Ice Cube walked into the production meetings and said, "Do the same shit." Because that's what this is. I don't think you need to go. The visuals are impressive. It's beautifully shot. It's well directed like I said, in the visual sense. The Caleb Deschanel's cinematography is excellent. There's something missing in those performances for me. I don't feel like the interactions are the same, and I think there's something missing when you don't have them animated in that traditional Disney style. So when you're trying to do it photorealistically, it's something that the Jungle Book didn't have a problem with that this one somehow seems to, and I can't pinpoint it just yet. I don't think you need to go, but again, that's just me.
Yeah. So here's the problem. The movie is fine. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. But to piggyback on what both you said, there's something missed in the expressions, in the performance of the animals. I mean. You're watching, and you're basically watching a National Geographic version of The Lion King, and that they're able to pull this off is pretty freaking amazing.
The backgrounds are CGI too, right?
I think so, yeah.
I can't tell.
And I will say there's something really funny about Seth Rogen laughing as Pumbaa. Mm-hmm. I remember when he first was like, I thought it was really funny.
And I think Eichner's really good as Timon,
I think Timon and Pumbaa are really great in the film.
Yeah.
They tweak their stuff a little bit enough because... I had this really funny guy sit down next to me, face piercings, tattoos all over his face, 5-finger death punch. Sat down next to me, and as soon as the Circle of Life started, he started singing along. I'm like, oh great, But then I realized that he just really loves The Lion King, and he was crying like hardcore when Mufasa died. Here's a trailer for freaking The Lion King.
Life's not fair, is it, my little friend? While some are born to feast, others spend their lives in the dark. Begging for scraps.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. While others search for what they can take, a true king searches for what he can give. Run away, Simba, and never return. You must take your place in the circle of life.
If he really loved it, he would have got a Lion King tattoo.
He might have one. I don't know. But I was like, man,
He's got a lion tail tattoo down his leg.
Because he's really into it. I'll never forget, the part where Timon and Pumbaa show up. I mean, it's still in the animated film, too, so it's not shocking. And, the way Favreau shot it, though, is really cool, where it's kind of the heat wave thing, and it takes a little bit for you to adjust to it. And he sat up and rubbed his hands together. I said, "Oh, he's a Timon and Pumbaa fan. All right."
Yeah.
And he really got into, when Timon was singing in the jungle. I go, or the Lion Sleeps Tonight, whatever the fuck the name of the song is. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, the Lion Sleeps Tonight. Yeah.
I said, you know what? Usually people like that annoy me, but he was really into it. And I respect that he didn't care that he was into The Lion King, and he didn't look like he would give two shits about it.
He wasn't making fun of it. It was genuinely appreciative of it.
Genuinely appreciative. And so that's okay. I don't mind that interaction. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to, the story, and you're just watching photorealistic animals do it.
Yeah. So I want to bring it back to Jungle Book for a second. I wonder if the reason I love the Jungle Book one as much as I did is because since there's a guy or an actual kid there to work off of, it makes the story more believable or something. There's something disconnecting for me, but also because he's going for such a photorealistic approach, I feel like you can't have your performance cake and eat it too with the visual, because something's going to be missing with the delivery of the lines combined with the face that they have.
It can, yeah. I mean, I think so. I think
Scar is great by Chitwal Ejiofor, but it doesn't
there's
feel
something
as
missing in that performance though, because he's trying. And he's
especially
trying
his Be Prepared song. It felt like he was just saying the words.
Yeah, and I get you don't want to make it. You make it your own.
Yeah,
and you're following. I think Jeremy Irons' Scar is so great because there was a menace to him that I didn't get from the new one. And he also didn't have my favorite line. And he says, "Hey, Uncle Scar, guess what? Oh, I despise guessing games." And then, towards the end of that exchange, he says, "When I'm king, what will that make you, Uncle Scar? A monkey's uncle."
A monkey's uncle.
And it's just, I miss that. But I mean, the scene with the mouse and him chasing it looks awesome.
Life's not fair, is it?
Where one of James Earl Jones's lines early in the movie felt like the audio changed a little bit. It almost felt like they ripped it off of a track from the '93 version just to get it in the movie because they couldn't re-record him possibly.
Yeah.
So that's like you were saying before. It felt like some of the line deliveries didn't match the facial expressions of the animals because you can't.
Exactly, and that's where
Like there's parts where some characters are really excited, but it doesn't come across unless you without the.
You're right, and it's hard because the movie is. So I give the animated Lion King just 5 stars. I gave this one 3.5 because you've lost something, and not the story is the same, but there's something lost when you don't have the expressions from the animals, and it's visually stunning. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a better looking film, but just because it looks good, I think is it the perfect analogy of because it looks so great that there's an emptiness to it.
You're saying it's the Midsummer of Disney movies. The Hereditary.
I always worry that the more we get into like converting all these animated movies are an abstraction of reality.
Yeah.
So I worry like younger generations as we show them like all their favorite cute stuff, but all photorealistic real. Everyone like is going to be trained to accept or interpret things very literally. And like lose a bit of imagination in their lives.
I think you might be on something, but when I see the trailer, I think Mulan looks cool. But I think Mulan,
there's people in that.
Yeah, I think Mulan translates better.
Yeah, and also it looks like they're going to turn it into a badass action movie.
Yeah, and I think Shere Khan in I think the Jungle Book works better because I think the performance is better.
Yeah, I mean, I like Chitwell a lot.
No,
I just feel like I agree with you because I feel like there is something.
It's not that he's bad in it. It's just it just might be because Scar looks too real.
Yeah,
and
I, Timon and Pumbaa and Zazu look awesome. They do.
Yep.
And
those
I
are probably my 3 favorite characters in it.
Yeah,
and I liked the head hyena. I don't know who played her. I think she was really great.
Oh, I can't remember.
Hyena. No.
Alfre Woodard is.
But then
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key, you can pick him out. His voice is too distinct.
He's still fun though, but that's the same with the hyenas in the original. Like it's Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin, and Jim Cummings as Ed.
But they're trying. I don't know.
I mean, I like Keegan in the film, but he's not like in it that much to like stand out that much.
Yeah, that's the thing is I don't. I think Seth Rogen and
Billy Eichner
stole the show.
Yeah,
because they agreed. They for some reason they totally bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Shenzi.
Yeah.
Shenzi. Yeah.
Florence Kasumba.
Oh, I've never heard of her, but she's great. I think she's the best villain in the film.
Mm-hmm. And then also, like I said though, like I thought when John Oliver got cast, this was just to play into a joke that was on Last Week Tonight, but he's good as Zazu. He really works as Zazu.
And I told him, cheetahs never prosper. I love it.
Cheetahs never prosper.
So yeah, I don't think you don't have to see it. I think if you want to see something that's visually stunning, there's a worse way to spend 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't disagree with you because at the end of the day, it's got all the songs in it. It's got a cool new song by Beyonce, and that's always totally fun.
Of all these remakes where they add like a new song, this one was the one that stood out the least. Like it wasn't
but it stood out the least, but it stood out from the rest of the songs. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
because it didn't seem like it fit.
It felt new, but it felt like still appropriate for the movie. Whereas like Beauty and the Beast and everything, it's like, oh, that's clearly new.
I will tell you, I really loved one of my favorite scenes in the movie is how they handle Mufasa in the sky. Where it's not him in the sky. It's just like the thunder and the lightning.
It lost some of because I think Rafiki's explanation to Simba is needed for him to have that extra push.
It feels like it's shortened in this one.
Yeah, well, because he says. He said, "How that hurts? It doesn't matter. It's in the past. Mm-hmm. Yes, the past can hurt.
Oh yeah,
but, and I always loved in the original. It's like look hard, and he's basically saying he is Mufasa, and I think it was kind of lost in that one.
Yeah, I missed the impact. Did in the original one? Did he? I felt like I haven't watched the original in a while. His first roar, I thought, was at the end when he finally gets up on Pride Rock and like after all the hyenas and Scar's gone.
I think so.
But in this movie, he figures out his roar even before.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because
I always felt like that was a metaphor of like finding yourself.
Yeah.
But he
I have to rewatch
He
it.
roars a couple times before he gets to that point in this movie.
I'll tell you, they didn't put one of my favorite lines in from the original, which was, "Did you just call me Pig?" He called him Pig. They call me Mr. Pig.
Yeah,
which is a callback
Jermaine Dress
to
and Dragon do the hula.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying there are things I want, and there are things that I want.
I mean, the Be Our Guest works, but it's just
that is great. They did that really well.
But I missed the luau.
Yeah,
but it's all right.
It like I say, there are worse ways to spend your money and time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
But I mean, you don't have to rush out to see it. You've already seen it, but if
Yeah.
you want to see it be impressed visually, then
yeah.
Next week we're seeing nothing. I don't think there's anything coming next week. We're seeing Once a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. I actually
cue a bass line and people talking about foot massages, and
it should be fun.
And Christoph Waltz says something witty. Oh wait, no, none of that's in this movie. It's gonna be awesome.
It's all right.
Oh man, I'm gonna miss Hobbs and Shaw because of the 48.
Are you really? Oh man, how are you gonna live with yourself?
I don't know.
On Black Superman.
I like that song in the Hobbs and Shaw trailer, like that. Boom, boom, boom.
Every time I see a trailer, I go, "Man, this movie is just fucking weird."
It feels like it's a movie that has everything inserted into it.
Why not?
Yeah.
But then again, guys, Tango and Cash supposedly had everything in it, and then it had nothing.
So yeah, thanks for sticking by me through my 3-week journey through movies.
Hey, I got to hear a lot of Cary Grant stories,
Yeah,
and
that's
I got
right.
to do a Mae West impression.
That's
What could
right.
be a better day than that?
You know what? If you can, any day you could put in Mae West, it's a good day.
Come and podcast with me sometime.
See you next week.
That's
Bye.
terrible. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.